What is up? Can we chat about Diaz and his sticky stuff? Don't you worry your little head. Welcome in to Mayday Monday. And today, I'm going to talk all about why astrology is real. I'm just kidding. We don't need to talk about that. We obviously all know that's real. How we doing? How we doing? We got lots to cover today. We're going to... What the hell? This is in my pocket the whole time? Chad, I was looking for this for like 10 minutes, and it's been in my... I don't know. Owen Bruce, what up, guys? Hey, by the way, if you're over at the... you're over at the YouTube channel, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, guys. It's very helpful. I'm learning all about the live system over there, which I think is janky. There's like you're there, there's like a feed of all the live people that you subscribe to on the left of your screen, and then you go click on the little live link, and then it takes you to their not live channel, and their live version isn't anywhere to be. It's very hard to find. So, I feel like recommended is the best way to go here. So, yeah, it would be very helpful. I don't know how you tell people you're live. I don't know how people get there. So I try to get the link. You can't use Find My for your AirPods, my guy. I mean, I could. Okay, I didn't think of that. You're right. I could have done that. I don't think I was looking that hard. But I was just like passively looking and walking around and doing other things. Does that make sense? And a couple times I was like, man, where did I put those? I remember just having them. That's kind of the extent. So I guess it never really got to the point where I really needed to find them. But it's just pointing out the fact. It was one of those like, oh, where's my phone? And you're like talking on it. One of those situations. Yeah, it's just one of those situations. It's just, it's good. Can we talk about Reynaldo Lopez? I actually have him here on the list too, guys. A lot of these things are on the list, but this is a great time to start just... If you have something you want to talk about, throw it out. And I'm going to try to get like how we start the show for anyone who's new. And I'm going to hopefully in 5, 6, 7 weeks of this, I won't have to make this explanation every time. Holy crap. Hold on. Jeez, I've had just a tickle. Is the first like 15, 20 minutes, I let everyone filter in. I let everyone kind of come out and because people have stuff straight on the top of their mind first thing in the morning. And so we use this as a say hello, thank all the subs, thank anyone who's new, let people filter in, let people see the tweet, whatever. And then, so just throw out questions. If I don't answer them right away, I'll try to acknowledge it when I see it and then write it down so we can get to it later when we get into the show. So don't think that if you're saying something, I'm not just like going right at it. This is my attempt to not fully default into ADD mode and just bounce, because first of all, I can't remember what I was talking about a lot of time, and then that makes me miss more stuff. So, but yes, we're going to get into Reynaldo. Reynaldo's one of my player breakdowns, actually. Which I put in the wrong section, so I'm putting it down here now. But, yeah. When you're talking about Diaz, can you share your thoughts on 3 of the 7 players? Only 2 of the 7 players. So. Oh, wait, no. One was Max. He was. Oh, yeah. That is interesting. That is pretty interesting. Are the players contenders or pretenders? Well, considering you only have to win 80 games to make the playoffs now, they're going to be contenders all year. Now, are they a division winner? I think they need to do a little bit more. Okay, White Beauty, 24 months. Shay Lars, 31 months. There's our resident Twins super fan, Shay. That's a good thing, by the way, Shay. They check Edwin's every game. How did it different from any other game? See, that's the thing. That's what it comes down to, Daniel. That's what it comes down to. That's the interesting part. We'll see. Lots of teams need back end of the bullpen help right now. Just saying. Yeah, they do. They should trade for somebody. Is Francisco Alvarez a future MVP in your eyes? First of all, he's a catcher. So that's helpful. Usually people are like, that's not helpful. I think Francisco Alvarez is going to be, if not already, he's already top percentage of catchers. But he could be their star. I really, really, really hope he develops into the star of the future. You guys deserve that, man. And then like, I don't know. I would love a little bit of the pressure to come off of Francisco, just a little bit. He's a great leader and a great player. But I think he gets when he is not. I don't want to say second fiddle's not right. When he is like one of the stars versus like the star situation, right, where a lot of pressure is being put on him, he plays a lot better. I think that's true for everybody. I think that's true for everybody. I don't know why I'm talking out of my ass. How much sticky stuff did you use? You know what? I think I might show you guys something. I might do a big unveil today. How's that sound? If you get on our break, when I run to the restroom for our 2-minute break, I'll come back and I'll give you some detailed insight on how things used to work. And I am very unique in a lot of the things, but yes, there's a context here that I think is important. It's funny because we just watched Major League for the Make It in Action pod. And the scene of Harris explaining like how he has Crisco on his chest and Vagisil on his neck and stuff, like it's hilarious. This has just been such a huge thing in baseball for literally ever, and it used to be 30,000 times worse. But it was just in different ways. The incentives have always been there. It's just they didn't have Twitter, and everyone didn't have a 48 megapixel camera in their phone. Got it with Rosin, but something has to give with these umps. Never fair try. That's what it comes down to is those standards. Those standards aren't very clear, and it's umpire's discretion. And now we're seeing ego be attached to it. Also, who was the guy who checked him? Does anyone know? If it was the guy I'm thinking of. Okay, now we're gonna get into this in a moment. We'll look this up. God damn it, I'm gonna lose my trains of thought. So yeah, we're gonna keep welcoming people in for the next 5-ish minutes because I want to get into the. Why didn't these pop up? I gotta reset something anyways. So, Vic? It wasn't Phil Cuzzi? Cuzzy? I've seen a ton of Shea Langoliers. Yeah, oh yeah, he got he took he took Duran way back. I remember Musgrove dipped his whole head in Vaseline. See, the funny thing is, like, Musgrove, if he was using Vaseline, that doesn't make any sense for how he pitches. At all. None. Like that, if that's what he's doing, I don't know why he's doing that. Vic Carapazza, okay. Because Phil Cuzzi, I think, has thrown out like half of them. Did I face Pete Alonso? Did I like to face him or did I face him? If only Seattle needed a catcher. Yeah, it's like the well, they could use a. I don't know if Zebby's the long-term solution here, but But yeah, no, Shea. I think Shea's got a bright future. It's just about getting on base, man, for him. That's all it comes down to. That is all it comes down to. Did you want Pete Alonso to hit a home run? Why would I ever want Pete Alonso to hit a home run? What? That doesn't make any sense. Why would I want that? Why would I want that? Here, I'll show you something. Oh. Where is it? Holy shit. What is going on? Oh, never mind. Dude, what the hell is happening right now? Why did none of these have the number of pitches? I don't know what's happening. Sorry, guys. My keyboard just turns off every once in a while, too. It's driving me nuts. It's plugged in. I don't know what's happening. There it is. Here you go. This was my only time ever facing Pete. No, we don't want to see that. Thank you. Only time ever facing Pete. I faced Shohei. Yeah, I intentionally walked him 3 times last year. Almost got him there. I kept trying to throw harder and harder. Why are these only fastballs? What is happening? I don't have fastballs only filtered here. I don't know what's going on. I want to see a certain pitch, and it's just not showing them to me. What is this number I'm clicking on? Oh, I'm literally clicking on fastballs. Holy crap, dude. I thought this was going to be all cool, and it's not. Where's Pete? Pete. Oh my God. Right here. This is what I want to get to. It took me forever to get to this pitch. I struck him out. The one time I faced him. Holy hell. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Jesus. All right. Let's get into the news, chat. Holy anticlimactic baloney. Jesus. What a weird fastball. Exactly. Let's get into the news. Let's get into the news. Oh, sorry. Am I supposed to do this? All right, guys, it's time to get into the news. All right. Let's talk about Grimace. Holy Mets. Can I get a holy Mets? That's the Metsiest Mets thing. So Metsy. What is this? First of all, Grimace shakes are delicious / disgusting. This is just so funny that like it's anything. I don't know about coincidence, but correlates with going on this run. If you want to attribute it to then I'm all for it. Whatever it is, let's keep it going. Mets outfield, Brandon Nimmo. It's so funny. The player's like, I don't know, man. It's so okay. Grimace, the McDonald's character, threw out the first pitch for the Mets, and then they won a bunch of games after. Okay, that's what you need to know. I mean, if you didn't know that, I don't know how you missed that if you like baseball. It gets talked like crazy. But this is so funny. Like, the dynamics of how this thing happens is so hilariously Metsy. So I want to give you guys like what it's like to be in the clubhouse when stuff like this happens. I'm really plugged in the internet. Surprise. I know you're blown away. I'm super plugged in the internet, so I know this stuff before others. But like 24 of the 26 guys in there are like, what? Every time there's a big thing, they're like, okay, like what? And then the media just, that's all they ask them about. So it's so funny because it's just like a constant like thing that's going on in the internet, and most of the guys aren't really on the internet for a good reason. They're just like, oh, yeah, like they're trying to get excited about it because it's harmless, but they just don't really know. It's just funny, and it happens a lot. Like this movement starts, this like thing, this like thing takes a mind of its own, and the players are like the latest one to it, and it's. And usually the player's the one that starts this stuff in other organizations. It's the other way with New York. Of course I do. What is that, Japanese? Of course. Who doesn't? What up, Top Lad? Good to see you, man. Love the O's hat. I love the O's hat as well. I thought I'd wear a hat for a team I don't play on. It's been a long time. You're telling me that players touch grass every day? Pretty much every single day. Started with the black hat. Yeah, it's just, but it's like awesome. It's like, it's not. It's good. It's a good thing. I love that these things get the mind of their own. Unfortunately, that explains the controversy too, right? And I'm working on an interesting Mets controversy YouTube video that's fun. It's not negative. Like it's not I'm not being critical of anything. We're just going over all the stuff because there's stuff in there that I didn't know about, and it was really fun to research it. It's just funny. So I'm gonna try to do a fun, like a frivolous, funny video. Try try to be I'm gonna be one of you guys and just be like and like go through the process and then see where I come out at the end. And I bet you I'll have my mind changed in a lot of ways. And I think that's great because I love being able, I want to see it from both perspectives, man. I want to see it from both perspectives. But like, it's so funny, the controversy thing, right? Like all the controversies that they have, if it's applied to things like this Grimace thing, that's awesome. Of course, Linsanity happened in New York. That's all I'm saying. So like, it's just a like a really sharp two-edged sword, right? You can cut yourself. You can also cut other people. It's pretty awesome. Is that a good thing to say? What? I don't even know. All right. A couple housekeeping things. So we mentioned the likes and the subscriptions on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe, please. It means a lot to me. And it's very helpful for people to find the channel, which I'm working very hard on. Second, I just finally had my lease go through for basically I got an office space because commercial real estate is like dirt cheap right now. I'd highly recommend just like sneaking in and living in those situations if you want. Unfortunately, they're also owned by banks, but you know, maybe you can get away with it. Just kidding. That's a joke. Don't actually try to do that. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's like prison time or something. Anyway, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, we got a spot. I'm going to be building a second studio there. I'm going to be doing a lot of filming there mostly. And I need to have a sound treated room that I would like to bring people in to be live on shows and pods. And then also just a bigger green screen area because I have all kinds of ideas for things. Let's just put it this way, chat. We're going to be doing some skits. We're going to be doing some skits. So yeah, think about it this way. Like Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory type thing. So I have a couple friends that do like, I got a buddy who's a stencil artist. I got a buddy who does, he works in the financial sector, but he like does a bunch of custom software and stuff, and he needs a place to get away. We're all gonna have really small children at the same time, so we're gonna have like daddy daycare going there, so we can give our wives a day off, like things like that, and also vice versa, get a little day off for ourselves. So I'm gonna be honest, guys. The place I got is half of the price of every single place I've rented the last 5 years. Half. What's with the O's hat? I just like it, and I got I'm a big fan of the Orioles this year, and Danny Colum's my favorite player in the league at the moment. So it's half the price, which is just freaking nuts. So expect like if my background changes or whatever, just know that's happening, and we're gonna have some fun with it. And then I mentioned in the last YouTube video, so you type 1 in the chat if you watched the last YouTube video. Type 1 in the chat if you watched my YouTube video about how I learned to throw harder. I mentioned in that video that I'm gonna have a channel that just hosts like more technical stuff. No jokes, no fluff, no nothing. It just goes, this is what we're talking about. And I just go into exercises where I talk more in depth on a subject, or I give a little like, it's just gonna be like, I'm trying to do shorter, quicker to concise videos that I'm not trying to get views. I'm trying to it's going to be a resource channel. And it's now the top comment on the video. It's called Neptune Baseball or Neptune Pitching. So it's at Neptune Pitching on YouTube. The video I was going to post, it was going to be done and up by the time the video got posted. But like half of the new stuff that I was going to put in it, what got corrupted when I recorded it. And I went to put it in. It's like, this is in the wrong format. And it wasn't. And I got to redo it. So I didn't have time. Yesterday, I did the radio for 3 hours, and then I hosted a baby shower for 4 hours, and then I did the other podcast after that. So I was tired. Ultimate Zing with a brand new sub. Chris D with the sub. What the hell? Okay. Are these YouTube? What's going on right now? I'm super confused. I don't know what's showing up right now on my... Oh no, oh no. Oh, anyway, I got to pay attention over here. Ultimate Zing, thank you for your sub. Okay. I have to oh God. I'm not going to be able to see. I got to see these in real time. Okay, I got to be paying attention. Yes, Neptune pitching, that's it. So, if you're interested in the technical side, you want to learn about the pitching itself. Like if you're a kid and you want to actually like ask questions in the comments, be like, hey, what about this part? So I can expand on it. So with this is going to come a Discord channel with a bunch of resources like written out, the videos themselves, special things, and then I'm eventually, I don't know when yet. So this is the thing. I'm going to slowly kind of fill this thing up as I get some time and as something comes up. So when I get good nuggets here, when we do good stuff here, we do good stuff in the video, or we do good stuff in a short or something, I'm going to aggregate those things that are only about learning specific things about pitching, like instruction, things that you can take and go practice yourself or try yourself or see if it works for you. All that stuff will go in this place. And it'll also be the Neptune Pitching Discord channel, but that's not set up and ready yet. It will be soon. It's going to have all kinds of cool like templates for scouting reports and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, just sub to it so it'll pop up when you see it, but you don't have to. And any video that mentions these things, if I mention a concept that I don't want to spend 10 minutes in that fun, like I'm trying to be funny and enjoy, like I'm trying to have a fun time and be a little bit less like in the weeds, then I'll just be like, and there's a deeper video on that subject. Go check it out if you want. That kind of thing. Colt, what up, dude? What's the best way to get a hold of you regarding coming down and talking to my Kelso Summer team? Lives on Twitter. I have a business email, emilyj@IamTrevorMay.com. Emily will figure that out with me and you. So reach out to her. She will make sure we're on it. Also, thank you, Kid Dynamo. Okay, so yeah, Grimace, funny, Mets, silly, but hey, continued into Chicago. They're playing well, and I think that they're right there in the hunt for the wild card, which is interesting because who knows what's going to happen? Sellers or buyers? I think everyone's going to be both, which is interesting. How do you join the Discord? ! Discord. It's just discord.gg/Trevor May. That is my main Discord, but when the other one goes live, it will be talked about a lot in that one. So the best you could do is be in that one for now, and we do all the baseball stuff for this show too. So, thank you. All right. Subject numero dos. Who saw Barry Bonds talking about Satchel Paige during the Rickwood game? Well, let's listen to it real quick. Let's listen to his comments.
Tell me right now, on the spot, what would you do against Satchel Paige?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Gone. You done lost your mind, Jeter. Read about it on ESPN, Fox, News, whatever else you want to talk about. You got to believe in yourself. If I don't believe in me, who going to believe in me?
That's right.
I'm a drag button.
Derek, you said
I'm drag button.
How do we feel? Because the conversation was super interesting. I don't know if it's disrespectful. I don't think disrespect is the, like, how does that come off to you from Barry? I just want to know I want your opinion. I mean, he's right in the context of he has a good chance of taking him deep because he did, but does it, I don't know why we get so caught up with whether or not he's right or wrong or not. Like, that's not my point. Of course he could. Of course he could take him deep, guys. He's the home run leader of all time. Like, of course he can. That's a given. Like, no one's refuting that. That's not the point. What I expect his genuine reaction to be? Why? Why do you expect that to be his genuine reaction? I don't think he meant anything by it. I mean, I don't know what you mean. What he meant was to say he's the best. That's what he should say? Why is that what he should say? He ain't no chump. Oh, so, okay. All right. that kind of confidence. So here's the deal, guys. I have a question for you. Do you think that Barry Bonds has a self-deprecating bone in his body? Do you think he's ever self-deprecated himself? One time. Okay, so the person says he wanted to be funny, you wanted joking. If you've never said the opposite, then it's not a joke. All I'm saying. So a lot of people were like, he's the greatest of all time, whatever. But like, it's different when people say, like, Kobe Bryant's the same way, right? When you always say I'm the best all the time, forever, all the time, it's no longer like you can't joke about it anymore. We just know that's what you think about yourself. You think that you're the greatest thing that ever happened. So like, you see how the thing crosses here? It's different. And then what did Griffey, a unanimous Hall of Famer, say? I would drag butt. But we know Griffey's confident in himself. He doesn't need to tell us. You see what I mean? So, I mean, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Like, none of this stuff's a big deal. It's just, it was really interesting. I was reading the conversations, and it was very like, I hate him too, I love him. And there was no one like in the middle at all. Like, there was no one in any gray area. Like, okay, well, I get it, but also like, ew. Like, is this the time? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Like, nobody really cares long term. I just thought it was interesting because it was a conversation. Because not only that, Barry said what he said, and then Ken Griffey Jr. said what he said right after each other, and you saw the differences. Very interesting. Just interesting. Griffey isn't drag bunny, he's going to swing. And that is what we call a joke. That's my point. That's what we call test. Relax, microphone. This mic gets very touchy sometimes. Anyway, I really like to see him go ahead. I would love it. Is this the time? Yeah. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the Rickwood game too. I thought that was awesome, and I hope we see lots. I talked about this on the radio. I talked about this on Rates and Barrels. I'm just going to really quickly touch on it. The Rickwood game was sick, and I love it. I love it. It can be a joke either way. Confidence, self-def. It can be if you do the other one sometimes. You know what I mean? If you're always one way and you're never the other way, then when you make you say a confidence in that same one way, it's no longer seen as a joke because you've never shown the other thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point of jokes. It's, I'm saying this thing, but I actually think this other thing. That's what a joke is. So I don't know. It's what, like, do what you want to do. I wanted your opinion. I wanted to talk to you and just ask you the question. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to me how these things come off. And also the idea of the concept of confidence in sports, like the fan perception of confidence and its role in sports, is fascinating to me. And what the differences are, it's awesome because it's so much different in a lot of ways. It's really, really interesting. Confidence versus arrogance. Yeah. Like, really arrogant guys can be really good at sports. The problem is they tend to not have a lot of people that like them as teammates, as friends, and then when they're done, it's probably not Funville, USA. So, but it's just interesting. But yeah, anyway, the Rickwood game was amazing, and I also want to say rest in peace, Willie Mays. In my opinion, I mean, Barry is. I think Barry, pound for pound, is the best player ever. You know, scandal aside, scandal included. Like, just I just can't. Like, I throw an asterisk next to it. He still did all the stuff. So, but Willie Mays is right there, right freaking there. Probably Willie Mays might be the greatest overall athlete in the history of baseball. So, thank you for what you did to the game, sir. And everything you went through to get there, man. It was so cool. Rickwood was awesome. I loved it. I loved that it was in Birmingham. I love the history. I love how happy everyone was to be there. It was really, really cool. was really cool. Okay, moving on. Let's get to the sticky stuff. Where is the... Oh. Okay, I must have deleted it. Hold on, let's pull it up. Let's pull up the thing. All right. We have our third... I'll fix it next time. We have our... Oh my God, dude. I hate this so much. CBS. You know who's not using CBS? Everybody. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Also, call me when Ohtani makes 24 All-Star games. That's a joke because he's not going to play 24 years because it's impossible now. Mets closer Edwin Diaz ejected for sticky stuff, faces automatic 10-game suspension. As you know, he is the third Met. So the 8 guys have been suspended. 3 of them are Mets. I don't know why. Drew Smith, he joins Drew Smith and Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer, who was... So in defense of the person who banged Max Scherzer, he went in, he was told to clean it off, went to clean it off, and it got stickier, and they got caught. Like it got worse. He was told once, it got worse. So... I don't know what to tell you on that one. Drew Smith is weird. But Edwin. Yeah, I know you guys love to say culture problem. The entire front office has changed like 4 times. It's not a culture problem. Anyway, New York Mets closer Edwin Diaz ejected for 6 steps prior to pitching in the bottom of the 9th. Literally, he got thrown out immediately. Your hand's too sticky. Now you guys saw it, right? He had like it looked like if you get like the back of duct tape on your hands and then you roll up like this and you do this a little bit. So like what happens is, especially when you throw a pearl, so you warm up with a new baseball, like all of the label and stuff will come off on your hand. So that if even with rosin, like it takes literally nothing. Your hand could be wet and you'll get it. Like it's like almost like a lick on tattoo. It's actually kind of crazy. Right? If you're nervous and you're just holding the ball like really tight and sweating for like 2 minutes and it's really hot, then you can literally get the like Rob's entire signature on your palm. So there's that. But Edwin, like, he's not denying that his hands were tacky. He's not. He's just like, it's just as tacky as it always is. He's like, it's always this tacky. Oh no, what happened to Drew? I didn't know what happened to Drew. Drew got hurt? Huh. You think Mendy should defend him? Mendy? I mean, he kind of did, but like, I don't know what you can do there. 97 out of Deke, dude. Deke still throws freaking throws. So let's talk about why, like, he's mad because he's like, I didn't do anything different. Like, why would I think that anything else would happen here? And it comes down to this, like, it just depends on who you get and whether or not they care. And full disclosure, I've been told in the past, hey, like, some of these guys are pretty tacky and other guys have nothing. And there's certain, like, just don't go crazy with it. Like, we understand you guys are down there like rubbing a ball down. We understand you guys are down there doing rosin and sunscreen and like preparing it for innings before to get it perfect so it feels the same every time. Like, they get it, but like you just get a guy who just goes, nope, anything is bad. I'm today is the day. But I don't know. I just don't know enough context here. And judging, like, you can tell he's like, yeah, my fingers are tacky, but like it's the same thing as it always is. So why is this happening a problem right now? And that's the thing that's getting me right now. Like, I don't really know. I don't know why. Why now? Is there a reason they don't just check spin rate? Because that's not a foolproof. The only way to know for certain is touching their fingers, man. And not everyone's trying to get spin rate. Suge's not a high spin rate person. Like, his slider spins like 2,200 or something. Like, it's not going to be something that is noticeable. Like, that's not how that works. Not everyone's trying to spin the ball as fast as they can. It's not the reason. Like, it comes down to sometimes guys who throw really hard like that, their command gets crazy erratic on their fastball. Because the balls are slick. They suck. A lot of times they're slick. Not all the time, but sometimes they're awful. Sometimes they're trash. Yeah, the suspension, in my opinion, is still just overboard. Can sticky stuff help reduce injury rates? That's case by case, too. I don't think there's a specific reason or a specific thing to point to that would say that injury rates will go down if you use sticky stuff. It's all about, like, the variables that are in play. Who talked about it? It was Glass Now talked a lot about how if you are used to having a certain level of tack on the ball and then that tack goes away, you're going to naturally grip the ball harder. You're probably going to recruit muscles that weren't being recruited at that level, and if you continue to try to throw hard at that level, eventually something's probably going to get out of whack. Does mud actually help scuff the ball? So mud doesn't scuff the balls. It's supposed to take off that new leather sheen, because leather naturally can be a little slick at times. And so it's supposed to add a little, not tack, it's supposed to add a little it's hard to, like, not texture, a little texture, but not scuff. We got a brand new sub. I love the USA 21. They have loved the USA since 2021. Bandwagon 2 months in a row. What's up? How we doing? Matt Satin? I don't know. But it's like, I mean, you're not winning if you challenge it. Yeah, you don't win. You don't win. I've tried to challenge errors before. Pitchers don't win those, playa. So it is interesting. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't spoken to anybody. No one gave me the rundown here. Dude, holy hell. Are we serious? Okay, fine. I won't look at your website. How's that sound? Let's look at ESPN's. Jesus. Use the same thing. I rub rosin, sweat, and I put my hand in the dirt a little bit so I can have some grip on the ball. I was really surprised because I didn't have anything on my hand. Clever belt is all. They always check everything. I told them I have a job to do. I'm supposed to check it, and that's too sticky. I can't ignore the substance on there. See, that's the thing, though. It's like, what does too sticky mean? Too sticky to you? I just think if okay, so if the determination is going to be just subjective, right? Whatever the guy's checking's perception of too sticky is the standard. There's no standard. We don't have a standard, and it's one of those things like he's closing. Things haven't going very well, so he's not going to be like, I'm gonna go cold turkey here just to make sure, because he needs to pitch well, or he's going to get decimated. So like, I took a chance. Like I did the thing I always did, and we got one guy who was got really excited, and now we lose a roster spot for 10 games. Like this is a crazy suspension now. This needs to be reduced. I understand doing it right away to get people to stop in the middle of the season. Be like, guys, this is extremely crazy suspension. But you can haymaker a dude for 5 games, and we're getting 10 games for pretty sticky, bro. Pretty sticky, man. Or you set the standard at if I feel anything remotely sticky, you're thrown out. Trev, Peter Moylan described it well on Bally. Ooh, I will do that. Sent it on my Twitter. Let's check that out real quick. I would love to hear what Peter Moylan has to say, mostly because his accent is awesome. All right, 1 second. Let's see if I'm even logged into X on this browser, because I hate this website. Oh, yep, I'm definitely logged in. Okay, notifications. Here we go. Oh, foul territory, my guy. Wait, no, this is the wrong thing. Where'd you send it to me? Oh, right here. Got it.
I'm going to try and stay.
I want to see this. I mean, we're gonna get not DMCA. We're gonna get we're gonna get demonetized for this, but I don't really care.
As calm as I can, and I want to just let everyone know that I am not an expert. I am not a scientist. I am just giving you my opinions and my experiences, okay? Now, let's talk about what this is. This is a baseball. This is a brand new, out-of-the-box, white baseball, okay? What it has, you're not going to be able to see it a little bit, but what it has is it has a little bit of shine on it. So what they do to get rid of the shine is they rub it with mud. Now, you'd think that's fine, right? But the problem is there is zero consistencies in the way they rub it up. They will either have a clubhouse kid rub it up one day, they'll have a different guy rub it up the next day. It could be rubbed up 2 days before the game, who knows? So by the time you get that baseball, the actual mud has lost any of its benefit because it's now just become a sandy, dusty, brand new baseball. Okay, so you use the sun.
One other thing, I just need to be really clear here. Peter Moylan has the best veneers in the major, of all time. So, greatest veneers in the history of the world.
So you use the sweat and rosin method. You rub a bit of sweat, you get some rosin, and you're supposed to take the tackiness, so you're supposed to get some tackiness. All that then does is rub the mud that they put on the baseball off, and then you're stuck with this baseball. And you know, BJ, once you get a pearl in your hand, you cannot control that baseball.
I have a prop. I'm going to go grab it. You guys watch this video. I'll be right back.
You can think you're going to throw a cutter, and it's going to sink. So the issue that I've got is that Major League Baseball have taken away the one thing that we had that allowed us to grip the baseball. I'm not talking about get extra spin. I'm just talking about being able to grip the baseball, okay? My personal experiences. 2006, I come to the big leagues. I pitched from 2006 to 2010 with absolutely nothing, just sweat and just rosin, right? I then have a couple of years of injuries. I come back. 2013, I'm in spring training with the Dodgers, and I can't throw a breaking ball. I don't know why. I try everything. Everything I can, and I'm just thinking that it's the thin air in Arizona, right? Turns out I go to AAA, and I'm having the same issue. Someone introduces me to sunscreen and rosin, and all that did, it didn't allow me to spin the ball anymore or throw any harder. All that did was allow me to go back to the pitcher that I was from 2006 to 2007, and the numbers prove it. My velocity didn't increase, my spin didn't increase. I was just the same guy that I was 5 years earlier, okay? Fast forward to now. And guys have taken it too far. I completely understand. They've introduced sticky substances that do not belong on baseballs, and it's turned a pitcher that would have had a 2,400 RPM curveball into someone who can throw a 3,000 RPM curveball, which has effectively turned you into a different pitcher. So you cannot do that, and I'm all for outlawing that sort of stuff.
Now,
right.
Speaking of sticky ticky, you heard the comment that Tyler Glasnow made, one of the top pitchers in the league who throws 100 miles an hour. He's saying you're taking the sticky ticky away, and now that caused the injury to me. He was pretty bold by saying that.
Because of his grip, right, Brian?
Talk about that. Yeah, because of
the way he had to grip the baseball,
exactly.
Right? He's effectively gone from when you have a little bit of sticky on your fingers or a little bit of tack on your fingers, when you're going to release the baseball, you're not gripping it. You're not gripping tight. You're just effectively laying your fingers on the baseball, and it's coming off your fingertips, okay? So now what he's having to do without having any stickum or any kind of tacky on his fingers is he's having to get that ball right deep back into his hand, and he's having to squeeze it with more pressure. And where does that pressure go?
Right
from your fingers right down the forearm, straight into the elbow. All right?
Yeah.
So what he said is absolutely believable. And what he said, I've experienced it myself. I went to spring training with Houston. I was a little bit overweight. I got a sore foot. I ended up having to change my mechanics. I lifted my arm angle up, and I blew out 2 weeks later. So this is a real thing. Any kind of minuscule change in your mechanics or in the baseball or in your grip or in your release can have massive effects. And I don't think MLB understands that.
That's incredible insight, Peter. And we'll see what the result is going to be. The batters don't go to the plate with a bat that's completely bare either. So, I mean, that's a whole
That's why we have gloves,
That's
folks,
a whole nother conversation, pine tar, what have you.
All right, I'm sorry if that ended. It took me a minute. I couldn't find what I was looking for. It's going to look really bad at the beginning, but we're going to get over it. All right, chat. You guys want to know exactly how this goes? here we go. Buckle up. So, Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's just do this. So, this is something that I used to have in my bag. All right? You guys ready for this? Oh, that's wrong. This is called glove rub. Pelican, oh no, not Pelican. Who makes the rosin? Not Pelican. What the hell am I thinking of Pelican? Who makes rosin? Who makes the rosin? Why am I thinking of, why can't I? Is it Pelican? Oh, Pelican grip. Pelican. They have like a thing, something that bowlers use. Is it grip dip? Maybe. This isn't right. Anyway, it's like this, right? Rawlings, maybe? God, what's it called, bro? Why am I? Is it Pelican? Okay, so it's Pelican. Okay, Pelican makes the rosin. So it's, okay, Pelican, hold on. Pelican rosin rub, I think. Rosin rub. Yeah, that's what it's called. So I guess this is it. This Pelican rosin rub. So it's like a bat wax, and it's got a little bit of tack, but not like a ton. It's hard to explain. So I have a ball here. And it is technically a pearl. This hasn't been rubbed down. I mean, it looks like it has been, but it's because I've been like playing with it a lot. Okay. So in the bullpen, this would be a normal routine. Okay. You get a ball, and there's rosin involved, right? You get a ball, and as soon as you're doing, you just kind of like play with it, because honestly, we're all like, it's like a fidget spinner. We're just like, I'm so nervous, I gotta play later. Okay. So you have your ball, and I call this my prep ball. So when it got to like the 7th inning, now please don't yell at me right now. This is all I have, but this was for a video. You can see whatever. I'm going to show you what this is. So this is spider tack. But the only reason I have this, look, it's been touched like 3 times. I made videos with this. This never went on a season. This has been in my home the whole time. You can say I'm lying, but you know, this is barely used. So shut up. And this is crazy. Like, this stuff it's ridiculous. Like, I have no idea why people use this. So, but we're going to use this for an example, and I'm not even going to put it in my hands because I can't even, like, you can't get your fingers off of it. Okay. So just say you got your thing and it's rosin rub, which rosin rub, this stuff it's basically like a gel version, like a wax version of rosin. Oh my God. See, look at this. Like, look at that. So anyway, imagine something's on my fingers, okay? Just like a tiny, like literally like the tiniest, like I can't even get any. The tiniest little bit. You get your prep ball, and I would just sit there and be like, here. So what this is doing, because this is not rubbed either, so it would always be, I always grabbed a pearl because it didn't already have mud on it. Because what Moylan was saying was the mud comes off. It does. It basically does not help. All you're doing is creating more dust and slide on your hands, right? So you take a pearl, so you can get the ball covered as you want it to be covered, so you can spread it around your hands. So what it is doing is pulling oil off my hands. So what I would do is if I like shook someone's hand, it didn't feel sticky, right? But if they touch the ball, like, oh, that's sticky. I'm like, well, I'm not going to use this ball, so it's fine. Rub the ball down. Phone rings. So I have a consistent, like if I went on my hand like this, I could go like this, and my hand would, like, I wouldn't slide. I would just stay. But if I go like this, the ball would fall. Like, even now, I don't even have anything on my hand that sticks a little bit because I'm sweaty, right? Like hair wax. So then what I would do is phone rings, like, mag it up. I go like this, throw the ball to Hef or whoever, or not Hef's not out there, but like throw the ball and then they throw it like all right, this ball's not being used, and then I just get a fresh ball from him and go. That's it. That was my whole routine. It was get all the oil off my hands and then just go pitch. And that's what anyone who is using sticky shit is doing. From the moment they take their jacket off and they are on the bullpen, there's nothing on their hands. That's it. Most guys, not everybody, most guys. Now, what the problem was before is people were putting a little, like they were just Bob Rossing a little on their glove. So they go to their little paintbrush over and over again and get some fresh goo. That's cheating. But this, like, it's hard to tell, like, this is different than that. Like, I'm just re-rubbing the ball up. I'm rubbing my hands up so that they feel the same as much as you can. So, but what are people going to think? Everyone loves to think everyone's cheating because it's really fun and it does well on TikTok. So, boom. But is that what happened? And then some people do this. They go and they, like, wet their hair down, and then they get the rosin bag, and then they do the same thing, get it all over the hands, and then rub a ball down with the rosin bag. With the rosin bag that's on the mound. They do it, and then they go and they use the ball. And they throw. And then wherever they're at when they go out there is wherever they're at when they go out there. So I don't really know. But it's what it comes down to is, like, if you got to throw a guy out, you got to throw a guy out. But, like, why are some guys being told they can wash their hands off and other guys saying they can't? You know what I mean? Is it based on... What's it based on? How are we making that distinction? Why is that opportunity being given to anybody? That's really interesting. If it's a no, what am I trying to think? If it's a no gray area situation, either you did or you didn't. So it should be universal. That's it. So there you go, guys. So what I was doing was slathering everything in Spider Tack and trying to get 1,000 more spin rate. That's what I'm trying to say. That's sticky stuff. So I don't really know. All right, let's move on. Next topic. Let's talk about the All-Star hats. I need your opinions, guys, in a big way. And also, before we do this, please, in the Discord, we have a brand new poll called the Weekly Poll. And this weekly poll is, who do you think is going to win the AL East? The Orioles or the Yankees or whoever's in third right now? Go vote on that, guys. And we will see who is the end. You can see who I voted for. But I think it's going to be insanely close. I've been there all year. I think it's literally going to come down to, like, game 162, which I hope happens because that'd be sick. I know Yankees fans. I know Orioles fans. You guys would love to just win easy, but trust me, it's best for your playoff performance to do that. All right. Let's talk about these hats. Let's talk about the All-Star Game hats. How are we feeling about these? I got to know how we're feeling about these. You don't like the peach of the AL? So these are the NL. So the NL has this. So it's so funny. These colors, I don't know if you can tell, guys, by my Mayday Monday logo up here, but they look kind of similar, don't they? So is this like, so let's, I want to know if you agree with my take here. Is this like it's a cool alternate hat, like a fan hat, right? This is like a cool fan hat, a cool like alternate, kind of like this is an alternate hat. It's a cool alternate hat that like a third party would make. What's the uni like? I don't think they've released what the uniforms look like yet. I like the hat for that reason. Like, this is a hat that I would like to wear on this show. And I love electric colors. I love electric colors. I love 90s electric colors. I love that electric blue. That blue is awesome. Reminds me of my eyes. What? Reminds me of the G.I. Joe logo a little bit. Well, you got to remember, it's in Texas. It just seems really interesting. I did see a comment said, is this a Pride hat? And then it just went, all hell broke loose there. So I won't read any things that came after that, but it was pretty funny. If the stripes were on front. Oh, so you don't like the stripes. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So I'm a little bit like, would I want to wear this in a Major League Baseball game? No, because I don't think it's clean. I like cut, clean, like not professional per se, because that's boring. Professional is a boring word. But clean. I'm a clean aesthetic type guy with like a pop of color. But when you're all like, you look like you're playing in Tron, it gets to be a lot for me. But that's just my personal style. But when it comes to like wearing just a hat, if this was just a hat, now I think if we add a uniform that has a lot of these colors, now we're like a lot. Overstimulation of the old eye socks, you know? It's an Astros hat. It kind of does have the, ooh. Peach and light blue is strange for Texas colors. Extremely. I don't know why we didn't go with like royal blue and crimson or something. SF logo outline in peach. It should. You're right. Yeah, they kind of pigeonhole. They kind of painted themselves into a corner a little bit. The training day hat's better. Which ones are the training day hats? Wait, hold on. Or is it like batting practice hats? Hold on. 2024 All-Star Game BP hats. Oh, these are the workout hats? So did they do the colors for the? Oh, so these are the American League ones. I like peach a lot, but like the cream. Okay, so again, oh my God, I just noticed the Oriole, bro. What? Guys, just make the Oriole like make his face like. What are we? Holy sh! With the pop-ups, dude. The Oriole being blue is awful. Yeah, I love on their face, like the cream color. I like that cream color. Peach, I like peach. That blue, I like that blue. The combination of these things, I don't know how they messed it up, but they did. So again, I think this is like fans will wear them. It's cool, but I guess at the end of the day, you're trying to sell hats, right? But like, God, if I were a player, I'd be like, ooh. Looks like inverted colors. It looks like color burn. It looks like infrared. Yeah, I feel like if you just had gone like what they usually did, and you leave the peach, but they went with like a darker color, maybe a darker blue or the black that it normally is, it would pop. It's just it's washed out now. Interesting, man. It's interesting. Okay, so that's Independence Day. So are these the workout hats? Yeah, these are workout. Okay, so are they like the colors of the teams? Why didn't they do flip them? Flip them. These should be the game hats. Hold on, what does Texas's look like? This is what the hat should look. This is what the hat should look like. These are way better. I don't know what. Maybe it's because then they would have to do different jerseys for everybody. They're always flip-flopping whether or not they're going to have like a consistent type of jersey for each team, or whether or not they're going to do the jersey for each team separately. Does that make sense? I agree. I agree wholeheartedly with this. El Camper 4 months. Thank you so much, bro. Welcome back to the team. Let's get some Team A1s, Team A chats, and Team A dances in the chat. Woo-wee. 1. Must go with the jerseys. So, yeah, I think the jerseys coming out are big, but so I guess the question at the end of the day is, are workout hats better than the game hats? I would say yes. And it seems like you guys would say yes as well. Wow. Wowie clap, dude. Wow. Wowie clap. Now I'm looking at it too. The black background, weird. Freaking weird, dude. But again, if I'm a fan though, and I'm sitting in the stands, these are great sit in the stands jerseys. But yeah, I'd say the workouts are better. I thought the Dodgers one looked sick. So, all right, moving on. We had another suspension in the major leagues, and I'll be honest, guys, this one is kind of unprecedented. So, Blue Jays have a big prospect named Orelvis Martinez. He has just got suspended for 80 games with the MLB for a positive drug test. He was taking a drug, a fertility drug, because I believe he got tested. So clomiphene, performance-enhancing substance, 22-hour suspension. Clomiphene is a drug used for low motility individuals to improve their ability to have a baby. So he was trying to have children with his kids. I mean, this allegedly. I mean, I tend to believe guys because this seems like a lot of stuff had to happen to cover this up if it were just like steroids. But trying to have a baby, he had a plan with his doctor back home, and he says, I should have ran this by the MLBPA and whatever, and he's right, and he took his suspension immediately, which is a good sign too. When guys are telling the truth, they tend to do that. They don't fight, like they're not trying to get, like he's like I understand this it's just a bang, like I get banged, like it's in the rules. I shouldn't have done it. But I think there might have been a little bit of embarrassment. Aren't fertility drugs also used to mask testosterone? I actually am not certain. I don't know, Branch. Maybe. And that's why it's a performance enhancer probably. It's been identified as a drug used in that way, and they can't tell whether it's not, and they can't take your word for it, obviously. So, he's 22 years old, he's taking fertility drugs. There's probably a little bit of like, if I can just do this and just kind of do it in private, I'd prefer to not have this be anyone else know. And I understand that doesn't make it okay, but like I understand if you're 22 and you're doing this and you don't want your teammates to know, man, right? You know what I mean? That is something that's a real thing. Real thing. You're supposed to be the guy, man. And that's what he sees the game as being, and there's a little bit of that. But at the same time, and the fact that he's just like, looking at it now, what the hell was I, like, why didn't I just tell people? This could have been avoided. Like, because he could have gotten a TUE. What's the rush out children? I mean, I'm not going to speculate on people like that. But I will say, come here, bub. Here. He's just freaking Marmalade is losing his goddamn mind. So it's just like he could have gone through the proper channels and they could have gotten a TUE. Like Trout's got thyroid things, right? Or has had thyroid things in the past and is able to get treated for it. Sometimes you have like there's some diabetes drugs that could get you a test fail and you have to go through the proper channels. And he could have done it. It would have taken longer, but I think it was an embarrassment that he didn't do it. And he just didn't really think about it. He's like, I'm not worried about it. What's a TUE? It's called a therapeutic use exemption. It's what everyone has to take their ADD medication. I had to get one for my medication. It's a pain in the ass. It sucks to do. It really does. It takes 6 months. Everyone drags their feet. The MLB is not really responsive on it. They don't really have a lot of people on the case either. There's only a couple people that are like, it's their job to do. And also, I was supposed to get anyone who watched me on Twitch knows this, but I was supposed to get like I got approved, but like they didn't send the paperwork in because we went into a lockout. So I had to like go through back channels to like so I could get my medication in the off season. Because it was like, it was December and I was like unmedicated because I had taken a non-stimulant before and it was awful. So I was like, I'm struggling here. Can you help me out? And they're like, yeah, we can. And then we just waited for like 3 weeks for the TUE to come through. Because like he couldn't prescribe me until the TUE was approved. And then we're like, hey guys. And they're, oh yeah, you're approved. I'm like, but we were in a lockout. So it's no one's fault. I mean, it is their fault. But like, I understand where they're like, I don't know if I can reach out to you right now. We're in a lockout. We're supposed to hate each other, you know? So anyway, I'm sad for him, but you know, so as far as I know, He's just taking it. He's not even appealing it. He's just going for it. But that sucks, man. That really sucks for him. That sucks for him. That sucks for the Blue Jays. I'm sorry, Blue Jays fans got to deal with this stuff. What team am I on? I am on team I quit. I quit the team. I quit playing. He's from the Dominican. It was during the offseason. Yeah. He's from the Dominican. Oh, and Latin players, it's culturally tend to have children a little bit younger. Generally. Not all the time, but generally. So, okay. Can we talk about Jake Cave? My guy, Jake Cave. Dude, how did Jake Cave become the man of the people? If you are unaware of what Jake Cave did, oh, God, I'd love this so much. I'm going to do my own. I played with Jake. I'm gonna give you a little impression of Jake Cave. So that this doesn't surprise me at all in a moment. But basically, there was a check swing against the Rockies, or the Rockies had the Dodgers in town. There was a check swing. Teoscar Hernandez, he went. And it was like with two strikes, 2 outs in the ninth. Then he gets another pitch. They call it, he doesn't go, and then he hits a homer and ties the game. Jake loses his mind. So let's listen to what he talks about.
Okay, like I didn't pass out or anything. You know, it's just you get hit.
Oh, this is him getting hit. I don't care about that. Not that I don't care about that. This right here.
You gotta be kidding me. From a strikeout to a 3-run.
See it again.
Kidding me. From a strikeout to a 3-run.
Fire me up, Jake. You guys ready for this? This is a Jake. This is a Jake Cave impression, all right? This is what he did. Like anytime anyone got like jacked up or like mad about something, and like, so for example, check swing, guy gets thrown out of the game yelling, blah, blah. You get in the dugout, Jake's like, I love that. I love that out of you. I love that. Love that right now. Let's go. Love that. Love that. I love that out of you. He's always like, I love that out of you. God, he's such a vibes guy. Dude, I love Jake Cave. He's my favorite. And whenever I tell that story about, I don't know if I've told you actually, the story about Rich Hill when we were on the Twins in 20. He came off Tommy John like eight months. He's like, it's his first start of the year. He throws the first inning, comes in. He's like red hotting up his shoulder because he's dying. He talks to himself a lot. We love it. He's like, come on. And we're like down in the tunnel where the batting cage is. And me and Jake are just sitting there because I'm going to go out in the 4th inning or whatever. And I usually go down the first to roll out. So I'm rolling out a little bit. And the inning's about to get over and he's going to have to go back out and pitch. So here comes Rich. And Rich comes into the cage. He's like, all right. He goes, let's fire this up. He goes, let's fire it up. He's like, let's go. He's like yelling at his shoulder. And he grabs one ball. He goes, I got to get going. He one ball. He like fires it in the net. Goes, that hurt. We're doing it live. And he just leaves. Like he just like threw one ball, goes, and then like goes outside and Jake goes to me. And I look at him. He goes, I love that. He goes, stay right there, Rich. And that's my favorite. That's my favorite Rich Hill, Jake Cave, and me interaction. I loved it. I loved it so much. So there's a check swing, and then Jake just stand up like he's mother effing our guy at first base for making the call because he messed it up. And then when he came in, he's just still yelling at him. Furious first base, Lance Barksdale. No swing call would have ended the game. And then after the final out, here he is. He's barking at him. Oh, nothing happened, actually. He just ran by him. So anyway, he wants to win. He's a clubhouse guy, man. I mean, you can say what you want about his play, but I love Jake. Jake's one of the greatest. He's a great teammate, and I'd love that. So big shout out to Jake Cave. Big time. Yeah, there was nothing to see. Sorry, guys. I mean, I should have showed nothing, but still, like, yeah, it was just like them running by. Like, it was basically the anticipation of some altercation happening, and it never did. So, there's the Jake Cave. Speaking of Rockies, I'll just let this. Silver lining, this has happened, what? Once since the rule was implemented? Twice, but once was like the day 3 in spring training. Was a ball anyways? Yeah, true. I mean, it was close. It could have been called a strike. But, and you know, we can say like, oh, the game probably would have been over anyways, or oh, it was a ball or whatever. Like, that's not the point. It's the fact that we don't know that because of some stupid thing. I think this violation thing should turn off with two outs in the 9th inning. I think this should turn off with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Solved. That way games just can't end this way, because if this happens in a spring training, like I understand, keep the clock, whatever. You don't have to turn the clock off either. Just don't give violations to end a game. Like you can't end, just say you can't end the game on a violation. Again, I understand the bases are loaded with no outs. I understand what's probably going to happen, but you just don't know. You just don't know, so let's not play that game. You can say that all day. Like, don't try to predict the future because you don't know what the future is. No matter what. It could have been 3-2. You come back. I've seen guys punch the side out. I've seen teams pop up in the infield, pop up foul, and then strike out, and then they didn't do it. It happens all the time. So it's over when it's over. But to end it like this is just shitty. It's just a shitty. It's a shitty product on the field. That's on the pitcher? Of course it's on the pitcher. Guys, I understand. Like, yes, it was the right call. It's just stupid that it's possible. Just let the guy trying to get out in the hardest situation ever take an extra second. But in the defense of the guy behind the plate, by the way, watch this. So we are at 0 right here. We're at 0 right there. Right? So he sees it 0. He knows. Look how much he gives him a time, because he doesn't want to call this. He doesn't. But he gives him time. But look how much time he gives him. 1/1000. 2, like almost a second and a half extra. He's like, sorry, man. Like he tried. Look, he tried to delay it. He did. He really did. Yes, it wasn't like he threw it at the same time. It's 0 at pitcher movement. It was like he had a full second before he moved. Clock violation should just remove a strike. True. I just think that the clock should turn off with 2 outs in the 9th inning, because it won't change anything meaningfully, and we'll never have this happen. It's a one way to guarantee it'll never happen. Or maybe we just do it like when it's within a certain amount of runs. Like if it's a 9-run lead, leave it on. If it's a save situation, turn it off. Easy. Fixed it. Just turn it off for the last out. Easy. Think he leads the league in violations? Well, you know what? He's trying to do his job as best he can. That's the way he does it. That's the one thing about the pitch clock that pissed me off a lot. But so I hated this. This drove me crazy. It's really easy to fix. But again, anything that could even vaguely be construed that might extend the length of a game, they're like, no. Could you imagine this in Game 7 or any game in a playoff game at all? Like, it'll be mayhem. It'll be freaking mayhem. So you can just avoid it by saying, okay, it's just not on with 2 outs. Easy. Or, Fred, we could just not have to completely change how we wind up to pitch to avoid a stupid ass rule. How about that? How about we just turn it off at 2 outs? How about that? You're welcome. That one for free. You don't even have to pay me for it. What's the pitch clock time now? It's 15 seconds. It's 15 seconds with nobody on base, 18 seconds with people on base. But as the stakes in the games go up, the guys are going to be like trying to center. It's going to be harder and harder. It's going to take longer to get into that happy place. So it's going to get harder to do, and you're going to see guys flirting with that line more and more the bigger game. So anyway, turn it off in the night. Just turn it off at 2 outs. Like that way we just never have this happen, but like the clock's on the whole game still. It's the best of both worlds. It's really, 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 really. You could even turn it off for like when there's 3 balls or 2 strikes. You can just do it for 1 pitch. So you just can't end an AB with it. And they actually shorten the clock when they need to extend it. Don't be surprised if they shorten it again after this year, by the way, guys. The worst rule is a ghost runner in second innings. Do you like 17-inning games where nothing happens, though? Takes away the bottom of the ninth, pitcher and batter stare down. You mean the tension that sports are supposed to bring? Yeah. I've talked a lot about tension and the way that it's changed with the rule changes, which sucks. But it is what it is. All right. Let's get into the main subject for today. Our number one, our top topic. And this is very, very, very sad and very scary, but MLB offense is nearing all time. Okay, I shouldn't take that mode. Edwin Diaz, the sticky fingers. Yeah, he's cheating. Such a cheater, dude. Cheater. I'll watch a 17-inning playoff game. I'll be honest, I was at one. It was one of the most boring things I've ever seen in my entire life. Watching a bunch of guys roll over to second all day trying to hit a solo homer was awful. MLB offense is nearing all-time lows, and hitters have theories. Pitching is out of control. Of course they do. Out of control. Pitchers are out of control. So this is an article written in the New York Times by my good friend and colleague Eno Saris and Jason Stark, 2 of the best in the biz. The research they did for this is great. There is a liberal use of Stuff Plus. Shout out to Eno. They did an incredible job, guys. Go read this thing in The Athletic if you haven't yet. It's really well thought out, and I have a couple additional points to add, but we're going to quickly go through it because we're going to talk through it. So let's start with the question for you, chat. Do you feel like offense is bad and that it needs to be better? Do you feel that? And try to think holistically around the league. Try to think generally around the league, not just like if you're a Mariners fan, of course you're going to say that. If you're a White Sox fan, of course you're going to say that. But like even like the Astros fans out there, even the Orioles, you guys feel like the offense is bad? It's a zero-sum question, yeah. When pitching's really good, offense isn't as good. Hitters simply need to hit the ball more. Well, I'm here to tell you, Maiku, they are hitting the ball more. The strikeout rate has gone down 4 straight years. It's actually being put in play more. It is. Alan Porter looks jacked. Alan Porter is pretty jacked, guys. Way too many hitters, under 200 hitters in MLB. Okay. I think offense is getting better. Okay. Could it be that MLB keeps changing the baseballs? I don't know if they have. I don't think that we've seen anything they've changed since the Goldilocks in 2022. I feel like they're the same. And Billy, what up? Shifts have actually hurt offenses instead of helping it? You mean lacks of shifts? You think that not letting guys shift have hurt the offenses? Analytics and strategic. So we really need to stop saying analytics is involved in any. It's the word analytics is literally we've always been analyzing and doing analytics. It's just we have math now involved. We actually know for sure what's happening. The difference is our certainty, not what we're doing, just our certainty. We're still looking at the same shit. We just have ways to quantify it, ways we didn't have before. So it's not like in the 80s they were like, we're choosing to not know anything. They just didn't know anything. Had they had the same technology, like had frickin' Pete Rose had an iPad, he would have used the goddamn iPad. These people would have used the tools they had the same way that they're using them now. Okay? They just didn't have them. Okay? They were still looking for these same answers. They just didn't have the tech. They don't have the technology. Analytics makes better. It's a misunderstanding of analytics that hurts hitters. If you don't know what if you're looking at the wrong stuff, if you're a Punch and Judy and you're out here trying to juice balls, you're like, oh, everyone wants exit velo. Everyone wants exit. Everyone wants this thing. Everyone needs me to juice balls. Everyone needs me to hit doubles and homers, and you just don't have the physical ability to do it. You're not gonna do it. You have to go with Plan B. you got to Louis Arias it. You got to try to be Louis Arias if you're not going to hit homers consistently. But again, Louis Arias isn't going to get paid like Trey Turner's getting paid. He's not going to. He's never going to make that money, even though he's arguably the best natural hitter in the league by far. And it's not close, particularly. In terms of just being able to put the ball in play and got hard outs, he's the toughest guy to get out. And it has been for years. The old rehash of lowering the mound coming back. Lowering the mound is one thing. It's interesting to lower the mound. That's one option for me. But let's go through some of the points they make, all right? I know we got to take a little time to go through this. All right, so here's the case they're making. And let's talk about this. And it's interesting to hear what you guys have to say because that's what this is for. But the 2024 league average was 241. We're talking about how it's the same as Bochy. So we're using, this is just an interesting tactic. Bruce Bochy's a backup catcher, and we're basically at his career stats in terms of slugging and average, which is interesting. We're down 3% in just about everything. Less home runs, less doubles, less runs, less hits at the beginning. Now, historically, got to remember, these things are usually down in the beginning of the year anyways, and this is actually pretty close to what it was the year before. So this is year over year from last year. The year before that, though, it was very close to this. And remember, we had a guy break a home run record for the Yankees that year. So it's not like no one's doing well, you know. Fewest doubles in a season. The doubles thing is interesting, but I think that shifts. So we'll talk about that in a moment. The average hitter is 241. Only 25 hitters in the sport are on pace to hit 30 home runs. As recently as 2019, there were 58 of them. Now, I'm gonna give Eno one of these. Come on, guys. Don't ever bring up home run totals in 2019. We can't say there was 58 guys with 30 home runs in 2019. There were 5 of them on the Twins, and 8 teams broke the league record for homers for a team in the same year. Let's not use 19 as a home run benchmark, please. 8 teams broke a record. 8. That's nuts. That is nuts. The Twins had 5 guys over 30 home runs and 8 over 20. 8 guys at 20 homers. There's only 9 guys in the lineup. So that's the juice ball era. So maybe we don't do this comparison, but the point still stands. It's still lower than last year. It's just not as much lower. And the hits per game is low. Okay, cool. We got it. Guys aren't throwing meatballs as much. So, for example, 2-0 fastballs, they're gone. Everyone throws sliders still. Everything throws sliders still. Everyone throws sliders. So you're still throwing your best pitch as opposed to so needing to throw a strike isn't as important, and guys are more comfortable throwing harder to hit pitches in those things. So you're not getting a get me over. There's no such thing as get me over. That's gone. That's just gone. This is how run values have changed based on the stuff on the. So this is pitching plus and stuff plus modeled. Basically, the better the stuff, the worse it's getting hit, and it's getting hit really bad. So one of the main cases they make is everyone's throwing multiple fastballs. Based. That is true. Everyone is throwing multiple fastballs. Relievers are throwing multiple fastballs. Everyone's got a 2-seam and a 4-seam. Everyone's got a sinker and a cutter. Everyone's got a cutter and a 4-seam. Lots of guys have 4-seams, sinkers, and cutters. Have you ever looked at BABIP on bunts compared to other balls in play? I haven't. But that's really interesting branch. Maybe we do that for another one. But of course it is. The problem is that BABIP, the value of that BABIP is much, much lower because its chance of producing a run is the lowest type of hit. It's the new swing approach. All you do is hit home runs, walk, or strike out. Eric Anderson, it hasn't been that way since 2021. Like that's just not the 3 outcome thing has not been what guys are going for since after COVID. Seriously, it's not about hitting home runs. It's about hitting the ball hard. And like I said, the strikeout rate has gone down every single year since then. It's gone down 0.5% every year. So the ball's being put in play more, but there's still not hits. Why? It's about catching the ball. It's just about hitting the ball hard. So let me give you a quick. I'm gonna try to make this as simple as humanly possible. Okay. Here's the dynamics at play. When a team is deciding whether or not to steal a base, for example, they say, what is the value we get if it's successful, and what do we lose if it's not? If you're trying to steal second base, you're trying to grab one base for the price of one out. That's the currency you're trading. You're paying possible outs for a possible base. No matter what, getting one base or one out is always going to be way more valuable than one base. Unless the percentage of the time you are safe is like 90+%. So that's why steals still aren't getting up where they want them to go, totals why, because the teams are still like, it's still not worth it generally. All right. So like now think of this as hitters. Hitters are trying to hit the ball hard. Balls that are hit hard are way more valuable to teams on average most of the time than balls hit softly. Yes, soft hit balls are hit sometimes, but they're rarely doubles, and they rarely produce RBIs. As opposed to hard hit doubles into gaps, those create way more runs. Home runs are automatic runs. You're hitting a homer, you automatically get the run. So it's guaranteed value for the team for winning. Does that make sense? Now, you can't only go for these things. It needs to be situational. I think that's what we're figuring out. Figuring out when should we look for these things. When are the best times to do this? And that's the change we're seeing. And that's why guys are striking out less. What happened to launch? Launch angles are still important. We're building on that premise. We're building onto it. Right? Guys are having A swings, B swings, and C swings. We're seeing them in bat speed. Like, they're like, in this count, I swing this hard. In this count, I swing this hard. Like, that's just happening based on their approach. And then some guys have a swing the whole time. Stanton, his is just as hard as he can every time. What about bunting? Bunting hasn't happened it's a skill that's died, and there's no one who's good at it. That's the problem. They're getting to the big leagues, and then no one's naturally good at it. So they're like, this isn't a skill I need to teach. I want to teach people in real time. You know what I mean? No one's good at bunting. So, like, the trade-off goes up. But bunting is going to come back. It's going to keep coming back. The problem is you can't bunt, and then the steal to first to second, unless you're Ellie De La Cruz, is still not a great proposition. It's not. Most of the time. Do teams prefer players with higher OPP or higher slug? You need people with higher slug to hit in the people with higher OPP. You need both. You need both. So, you're paying for a result with a possible consequence. So always remember, that is how teams are making decisions. There is guys that say, okay, to get this thing, we might get this thing. What are the options here? If we try this, what is the worst case scenario? What's the best case scenario? And if we constantly are getting this wrong, how is that going to affect our ability to win games? So they try to get guys that hit with power. They try to get guys with get on base. That's why OPS is really valuable, because those guys get on base and hit for power. And if you can get guys to do both, great. Make sense? Hey, congrats, Steve. That's awesome. Where do you rank average and hitting stat hierarchy? What's the most important hitter value? Average? Oh, I'd say it's a general indicator. I think of it as like a compass type stat. So it points us in a direction. It's like, what is the possibility here? But there's so many other things. So I'll go look at what's your BABIP? If your BABIP, if you have a low exit velo and a high BABIP, you're probably getting really lucky because you're blooping stuff in everywhere. And also, generally, the harder the ball's hit, the harder it is to field. Generally, not all the time, but if you do it 500 times, the harder hit balls are going to produce better outcomes than the not as hard hit balls. In general, that doesn't mean we don't need people to hit hard. Some people can't hit the ball hard enough. Like them trying to hit the ball hard is hitting it 98. Here's an example. Nick Allen, right? He's not a high exit velo guy, but he can run. He needs to not strike out. He needs to walk, and he needs to get on base, and he needs to be able to hit the ball into the gaps every once in a while. And that needs to be his game, but he's still trying to juice it. And he just can't, his hard hit balls are 97, and that's not a homer that often, right? But Quan has leaned into the other thing. Quan is like a Arias type, but again, Quan is going to get paid less. So it's a trade-off. Ever any 0-2 homer punishments? There were 0-2 hits. Anyway, so everyone throws hits. I'll talk about that in a second. So everyone throws a bunch of different pitches. We have wrinkle pitches, and pitching is harder in that way. And we can design pitches in a day. Like, you can learn a new pitch in one day. And that is something that hitters don't have a version of that. So if you think about it this way too, what is a hitter-pitcher dynamic? We have a hitter reacting to pitchers. That's it. So we have an engager and we have a reactor. Now, the people who are engaging are reaching their potential earlier, faster, and they have more information. So basically, the ceiling from between what we knew and what we know now with pitchers has come way farther than it has for hitters because they just had that. We had that ability to get better. We had that room to improve with science. That has happened, and the hitters just didn't have time, so they're being left behind. So there's probably something rule-wise or actual physics-wise about the game that needs to change in order to make this balance again. It's not going to be like, it's not in 10 anymore. I've come around on that a little bit. All right? So everyone's throwing crazy. Like, we talked about this a few weeks ago. Seth Lugo throws 5 breaking balls. Dubon went from 230 to 300 when he stopped trying to pull the ball over the fence. Yeah. And it comes down to, like, what are you trying to do, right? Glass now throwing a sinker. Guys, the Bassett throws high sinkers. He throws four seams too. Even guys with not great four seams. Like, for example, Seth's sinker's not great. It's not. Seth's sinker is not great. His four seam's good. But he throws great breaking balls, and he's leaned into that. He throws a slurve, a slider, a cutter, a sweeper, and a curveball. And they're all good because he can roll out of bed and spin it. And that's why he's doing so well. Batting average against four-seamers 15 years ago, 277. Batting average against four-seamers in 2024. Boom. You're seeing way less of them, and you have to learn how to hit the other pitches because you're not seeing them as much. It's going well. Why, guy? It's going well. All right? And then, is it even possible to hit a double? So they also surmise that outfield shifting has gotten really, really good, and they're taking away these doubles, which guys are hitting more. Guys are hitting the gaps more, but we're seeing, I don't know if you noticed, Jose Siri's going off. Cedric Mullins has been incredible. Like, we're seeing Doyle from freaking the Rockies, who gets no love. That guy's nasty in center. Like, these center fielders are, like, crazy. Crazy. And I feel like we've had some of the craziest web dreams ever this year. And they're covering space like they never covered before, and they're shading guys one way or the other. And now that's helping. And now of course we're talking about like limiting outfield shifting, which is I don't know how you enforce that, but they're gonna go for it. Slugging on balls in the outfield, way down. So guys in the outfield are better. Just Jordan with a brand new sub. Let's get it, bro. Thank you so much. Can I get Team A1s in the chat? Let's get some ones across the board, please. Are pitchers focusing more on velocity or location? They're focusing more on being as nasty as they can because that's what teams care about. It's actually not about performing now as much. Also, in the minors, it's not even remote. It's never been. Now it's not about the game at all. The games don't matter at all in the minors. It's like you're in spring training all year. It's crazy, actually, how little they matter. So guys are like, they're used to only thinking about like, how am I developing? And then they get to the big leagues like, how am I developing? And so they're focused on Velo because that gets them to there. And then once you get established, then you start to like, how am I going to move this stuff around? Whatever, how am I going to do movement? But, you have to worry about your Velo all the time. Everyone throws hard. You got to compete with those people. So, of course, we care about that. But, again, is that just like pitchers just going, I guess I care about Velo now? No, they're just chasing what is being rewarded. And the people that are rewarding them are the teams in the league. So, like, it's all connected. No one's wrong here. It's just like we can't just say, well, pitchers are just doing this because, of course, they are. Why are you so mad at them for doing the thing that you're also trying to do? You just don't have the opportunity to do it because you don't have as far. Is Devin Williams' changeup really that good? Yeah, it is. It's a unicorn pitch. All right? More bonus babies are getting forced through the levels too, it feels like. They are getting pushed through fast. COVID did that. It's not about performing, so it's not about results as much. Like, it's very rarely, like Paul Skeens, he was just going to throw 5 innings. Like, he goes in, he's like, I don't need to go throw well. I just need to throw 5 innings. That's not his fault. And he did throw well because he's incredible. But that in your brain it's weird. So the longer you do that, high school guys come up, they like learn that they just need to develop. And you get to the big leagues, oh, now I got to compete. Like, competing is different now. And so what you do is you just try to do the best thing that you know how to do as long as you can until you get established, and then you can start going outside. It's just like a, yes, sir, may I have another? What do I need to do to stay on this team, please? It's the big leagues. I want money. Do you think AA stats are currently irrelevant as ever? Absolutely, 100%. Not irrelevant. That's not exactly true. It's just a grain of salt, right? Grain of salt. It's not just all about like going out and just like getting the job done. It's about going out and showing that you have good stuff and showing that you're making the adjustments that the team told you to make. Why is Ozuna doing so good? I have no idea. We did a deep dive on him. He's not chasing. He is not chasing near as much as he did the last couple of years, like at all. Like his chase rate has gone way down. All right. So, is it the baseball? Here, Animal grumbling something up was the latest batch of baseballs. Of course we did, but we get it. Scientific evidence is there. The ball has not been carrying this year as it has in years past. It's down a little bit, 4 feet on average. Maybe the ball is different. I don't know why the ball would be deader. I don't know why they would do that. It doesn't make any sense to me because it seems like all they want is offense and then they're deading the ball. It's weird. But maybe they're trying to incentivize not trying to hit homers. And it's backfiring. I don't know. I actually don't know about this one. It seems weird. Must be the humidor. Everyone's got a humidor. When balls are put in the humidor, guys, they absorb moisture. When those balls then dry, that moisture expands, and the ball's not always perfectly symmetrical anymore. So if you go from, if it's coming from somewhere cold and then somewhere hot, and then back to somewhere cold, it's going to try to shrink, but it's not going to shrink uniform. That happens sometimes. That kills balls. So sometimes you get a bad batch, but I don't think this is pretty consistent. They've been doing this the whole time. Must be the bats. One hitting coach brought this up. He said velocity increases from pitcher making hitter search anyway to create bat speed. So they're dropping their bat weight. That's interesting. That could be it. That's probably part of it. Conspiracy I've seen is they tried to make pitches break less, which unintentionally killed balls flying off the bat. Who? If that was real, I just want to know who suggested it. Yeah, he's just punished. He's hitting the pitches he can hit, Dustin. It comes down to that. It's really hard. It's easier said than done. It must be the weather. When we first spotted these messy offensive numbers in late April, we decided to look the other way. Average temperature has gone up. So far in June, we point out the weather has finally warmed up. So is the offense. Okay, offense has increased with warmer weather, and it's going to be interesting to see how much it increases. Weather does not seem to explain it. Not always. The early season, month-by-month temperatures last season were actually colder. Offensive numbers were higher. Okay. So it's not fully up. It's not fully explanation, but it could be part of it. Is it possible it's just early? I mean, maybe. I don't think that's true either. So now what? All right. So what do we do? Global warming's hurting batters. Oh my God, we should do that. Baseball's gonna die, guys, if we don't get on this. If we don't push the Green New Deal through, where baseball's gonna die. Imagine getting all the billionaires on it. Maybe. I mean, I don't know about the Green New Deal, but maybe we do something. I don't know. This is a great photo, by the way. I love that they've been doing these. Right now, what? After pitching took over the baseball in 1968. So 1968, the year of the pitcher, guys. That's when they lowered the mound. So we're gonna get a rule change to make pitchers less nasty from a foundational standpoint. And here's my proposal. Now that I don't have to pitch anymore, I would have railed against this. But let me be very clear. I am now a media individual, and I totally understand where you come from now. I'm just saying this from a anecdotal, interesting standpoint. But if I were playing, I would hate this more than anything in the world. If you lower the mound, you're going to create, guys are going to figure out approach angles and stuff. They're going to figure out how to get longer extension. They're going to figure out how to get, the high fastball is going to stay good. Then if you move the mound back, yeah, fastballs aren't going to be as hard to hit, but you're just going to get more breaking balls, and they're just going to break farther. You're going to have bigger breaking balls, more movement on pitches, and it's going to go from velo to movement, and it's going to might be even better for pitchers. It's going to throw timing off both sides, hitters are still going to be off timing and have to figure that out. So if you move the mound back a foot or two, that just gives another foot or two to break. So, yeah, you might help with velo, but you're going to hurt with breaking balls. So it's kind of, and that's what they're throwing more anyway. So, like, that's not going to help. So what you need to do, you need to bring in the ABS and do the challenge system. So don't do ABS because ABS is boring, but do the challenge system. So give a hitter the opportunity to establish the strike zone. I think that'll be an advantage. So guys that will literally bring back the value of learning the strike zone. That's a skill. That's you can study it. You can go into that machine and watch that guy throw the way he throws and just see where the pitches are and see if there's strikes and get that muscle memory. And then make the strike zone a little smaller. You gotta shrink the strike zone, and you gotta include only pitches that are able to be hit. The pitch down and away in the corner, still very hard to hit hard, and they should probably shrink it. Have you personally felt a huge difference pitching in dome stadiums? No, not really, no. It feels weird. It feels different, but in terms of movement and stuff, I didn't see. I always look too. I didn't see any big difference. So, tightening up the strike zone from an ABS standpoint is the only way. So this is the hang up right now, right? We don't know if we want to go like full ball in the strike zone, if we want to go half the ball in the strike zone, if we want to go a 3D strike zone that's like a box and like a percentage of the ball needs to be in it for a certain amount of time, or just touching the zone at all as a strike because that's what it's historically been. I think that if you shrink it, so if you shave like an inch off all the way around or something, which seems like a lot, that's a lot, or half an inch off all the way around, then it needs to be if it touches the zone. So you can still hit the black, whatever. It's just harder to do. I think that might even it out a little bit. Maybe we try that. But they got to calibrate it right. So let's see. Stand up was redeemed. Thank you so much. Oh, you need to make it a 4 strike to strike out. I don't know about that one, Chief. Also, that more pitches than an AB is not what they want. They don't want longer ABs. Trevor Bauer just broke another Mexican League record. I need you guys to know this, and this isn't to diminish anything, but like, stop looking into Mexican League stats like they mean anything. Like it's like he's really good. Like he's a big league caliber pitcher. He can pitch in the big leagues. That is not up for debate at all. But statistics in the Mexican League mean next to nothing to anybody, especially teams like scouts could not care less. They couldn't. Japan doesn't care. Like nobody. It's just it's guys that go to the Mexican League don't go back, come back. And it's the quality of pitching or the quality of hitter there is just like it's not even close. So, grain of salt. I'm not trying to diminish anything he's saying, but like, he's being completely honest. Like, yeah, these guys aren't like, I'm just way better in this competition. That's true. He is way better. He doesn't belong there in terms of skill level. He's pitching there because they signed him. So, but yeah, I something tells me the blackballing is a big deal. Yeah, he should be breaking all. Exactly. He's like kind of doing what he probably should be doing for where he is in his career, and he's won a Cy Young in the major leagues, man. And he won that a couple years ago. It wasn't like yesterday. It wasn't like it was not like Bartolo Colon came back. It's like I'm 50 and I'm going to win the Cy Young in the Mexican League. Why does it seem like there's less reliable relievers like there used to be? Seems significant more volatile of a position each year. Ryan, give me an example. Give me an example of that. That's interesting. I think this is going to have something to do with your favorite team. But it does seem like, so first of all, you need to know this. The collective anxiety of the world is up. Just in general, like the way we react to things is way like there's so much more like tension about everything. So of course that's in baseball, just a little bit. My secret hope is Royal signs Zach Greinke for a bullpen army, reaches 3K strikeouts. Unfortunately, I don't know if Zach Greinke's going to... We just don't do stuff like that anymore. Like, we just don't do cool stuff like that anymore. He only needs 21? Oh, maybe. Is your agent aware of Team A throws 97? Does he have instructions for when teams come calling? Yes. His instructions are to say, nah, I'm a YouTuber. But yeah, I want to do a Team A throws 97. In reality, I want to try to hit 100 again, but I don't know if this might have to be like a next spring training thing because I'm about to have a kid. I don't know when I'm going to do this. I want to do it right. Is Bauer being blackballed by all owners? Is that it? It's pretty clear, guys. Did they get on a conference call and say, "Hey, none of us are going to sign him"? No, that didn't happen. But they're all looking. They're like they're reading the room. They're reading the room. And he is seen. I bet you he is seen as a threat to their income. And the PR, they don't want to deal with it. We talk about this every week. That's just all it is. It comes down to that. Whether or not you think talk about whether or not you think that's fair or not. But that's what's happening. It's nothing to do with his performance. They don't want to deal with it. And he is very vocal and he is very defensive of himself and he riles people up on Twitter and it's his right to do that. He can do whatever he wants. It's not something I would do, but I'm not him and I'm kind of soft. So there's part of me that's like, I wish I would go out there and just like start throwing stones. You know what I mean? But it's not going to help. It's not going to help your case in this situation because they're trying to avoid that. So the more that happens, the less likely it is, regardless of how you think it's fair or not. It's just not like it's a bunch of billionaires that own something, guys. I've been trying to tell you this forever. How the hell, when is that ever going to be fair? It's the nature of it. Chapman, Jensen, Kimbrel, Andrew Miller. They were all. I mean, Zach Britton. Like, so here's the deal. Josh Hader does what Zach Britton did almost every single year. Andrew Miller. Yeah, for a couple years he was pretty crazy good, but like, let's think about. Like Griffin Jax is gross. Like we got guys with 2.5s everywhere. I just think it's social media. I think that's recency bias. I think that's pretty consistent. I just think that every little tiny baby little thing that comes out, everyone freaks out about it and it feels like a big deal and it's not. That's what I think. I think that happens more often than not. Zach Britton may have the nastiest pitch that anyone that no one talked about. The one seamer, yeah, it's crazy. What are your thoughts on the automated strike zone instead of umps? I want challenges, but I want umpires making the calls. I want the umpires making the calls until it's challenged, and then we go to the ABS. That's what I want. Do you think the spread of the wealth more in the bullpen so it doesn't feel like there's juice? Yes, and also more of the bullpens are being used. You're getting fireman types, and we don't have the set roles as much either. So like basically, all you feel like oh, this game's over because the closer's coming in. But every team's pretty much like I don't know who's coming in until the 9th inning. No matter how good they are. And that's a little different too, right? There's a little bit of, you don't build the trust with those guys the same way. Even if they are just as good, you can't count on any inning but the 9th inning. So that's different for fans too. Does that make sense? I think that's pretty based. If Bauer wanted to play MLB that bad, he'd play the game outside of the game. What? What? I don't know what that means. I don't know what you mean by that. Do you think Orelvis Chapman is a Hall of Famer already? Probably, yeah. Dude, he still throws 104. That's freaking nuts. Isn't that nuts? Isn't that nuts? Isn't that peanut butter and nutty? Oh, all right. Anyway, so that has been, is the offense down? The offense is down. Is pitching too good? Yes. I think the ceilings are being reached for pitching more often now, and I think they should probably shrink the strike zone and do challenges. I think that's a good first step, and then they can mess with the strike zone a little bit. It's going to suck for pitchers, but I think that, again, like I said, they're adjusting faster than hitters are, so if one side has to adjust, I guess it's the pitchers. I can't believe I've become this person. What happened to my blind support of pitching at all times. What happened to my just biased ass? Like, pitching is the most important thing in the world and everything else sucks. What happened to me, man? Makes me sad. He means be a good boy businessman type instead of loud obnoxious. Oh, got you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Play the game, bro. Game of Thrones, man. Game of Thrones. If you step on a bunch of toes, those toes don't want to be near you anymore. Kind of. And whether or not you think that you should be stepping on toes or not is irrelevant because you are. Like, if they feel that you are, then you are. Because they're making the decision. So, yeah, it sucks. You don't want to be a panderer. I don't like that either. But if that's what you want, then that's what you have to do. It sucks. It's stupid and I hate it. But Diaz suspension, Jeff, we went over that early in the stream. If you want to go back like an hour, we did a deep dive on it. So anyway, but all of that said, guys, if we just took all of the stuff out of it, and if you're this level of pitcher and you should be on a big league mound, yeah, I'm gonna say he's better than me. He's way better than me. So he's better than me. And I played last year, and I could have played this year if I wanted to. So if he's better than me and I could have played this year, then he's good enough to play. That's it. Thoughts on J-Rod's slump so far? Yeah, it's starting to feel not like a slump. He's just like hitting a homer every once in a while. That's about it. Has the surge of Velo been in the major contributor to pitcher injuries? Yes. And so has the pitch clock, and so has the emphasis on breaking balls, and so has the training, and so has everything. It all has contributed. So is the incentivizing of Velo. Yeah, we have Velo days. Guys slap themselves in the back and throw as hard as they can. That's cool and fun and awesome, but this is the byproduct. So of course, yeah, all of that has to do with it. And you can't really separate any of that. How do we fix it? It has to be de-incentivized somehow. Or less games. But I am getting real tired of everyone being like, pitchers, why don't you just try to, because that's not incentivized, guys. You wouldn't do it either. Shut up. Like, why don't they just try to throw like Greg Maddux? Because we can't throw 9 inches off the plate and get a strike called. We actually have to throw it over the plate now. Oh, no, we slap each other in the ass too, but that's a different thing. Would it be more about pitchers not conditioning their arms? Nope, it's not. Pitchers' arms are in better shape than they've ever been. Arm care is better than it's ever been. If you notice this is what's so weird about Yamamoto's injury. Rotator cuffs never happen anymore. Never. No one gets rotator cuff surgery. Very few shoulder labrums too now, because shoulder care has come miles. Never. These guys. So but he came over. He's Japanese, so he's getting a little bit of inflammation from the amount he's throwing, because he's throwing more than he's ever thrown before. But there's no way to protect. You can't protect your elbow like you protect your shoulder. There's big muscles in your shoulder. Your elbow literally has a seatbelt around the bone. That's what your UCL is. You can't protect it the same way. So that's why we still have so many elbow injuries, but not as many shoulders. Or prospect pitchers being limited in the minors. That they're not getting hurt in the minors. They're getting hurt in the big leagues. If they weren't being limited in the minors, a lot of these injuries would be in the minors. Why do splitters cause injury? The nature of how you need to throw them. It's increased strain on your forearm, which then basically chains up into your elbow. So. Are you worried it's actually described as triceps, but is actually shoulder? So, guys, your tricep is here, connects here to your elbow, and goes all the way up to your delt. So this is all your tricep. So he's probably sore here. And it turns out that he had a strain in his rotator cuff, which is here, but he was feeling it there. So that doesn't worry me at all. That's normal. James, what up, dude? Is the screwball actually more dangerous to throw to other pitches? Depends on how you throw it. If you supinate when you release the ball, so if you're a little bit turned in this way, like I threw fastballs like this, so it spun like not perfectly backspun, it kind of spun like a cutter. If you throw supinated and then you suddenly try to go like this all the time, you're going against your natural, you're going the opposite of your natural rotation of your arm. You might be in more danger of being hurt that way than if a guy naturally does this. So it just depends on what you do naturally. Maddox, Smoltz used to always get the benefit of the doubt and strikes out the plate if they hit their spots, not with computers. No, Aaron, no. It's because umpires are getting graded and they're getting reprimanded. They're losing their like they're going to lose their playoffs, their ability to umpire in the playoffs, which is better pay, if they're bad. So they're trying to get the calls right because they are being graded, not by the public, but by their own internal by MLB, and so they can't just be out there and be like I know we're like, Angel, he needs to go, CB, they needs to go. They kind of are slowly going, guys. Don't be surprised. CB follows in the next few years. So yeah. Let's talk about Max Scherzer. Scherzer had a perfect game going in. I thought Max looked great. He did come out. He came out early. He was pissed because he's always pissed. I love him. Lovable psycho, Max Scherzer. He was pissed about coming out early, but it looked like they're like, hey, he was like, yeah, I'm like, it's a little fatigued. Like his arms, his like grip, his forearm is getting fatigued from gripping the ball, from what I can see. And that was like it's the nerve issue a little bit too. And so he's getting fatigued earlier in games. And they're like, all right, 5 innings is great, man. You did great. And he's like, come on, man, I can throw more. We're like, we know you can throw more. He only threw 50-something pitches, but they need to they don't need him to throw 8 every game. They just need him to throw 5 or 6. Like, and it's just, he's just so used to being I get it. He's such a competitor that he would rather die than give up the ball. But I think that was the right move. All right. So who do we want to break down? But I want to know, guys, who will you guys want for some player breakdowns here? We'll pick 1 or 2. But first, I want to talk a little bit about trades. Trade time. It's trade time. I don't know why I make up these jingles all the time. I got 5 guys here. I want to give you one team that could use these 5 guys for the breakdown. Matt Olson, Emmanuel Clase, Brian Verlander. Ooh, that's a good one. Mark Vientos, Brian Wu, Colum. We did Colum last week. All 5. Pete Alonso. Where does Pete Alonso go, if anywhere? Who needs a first baseman? Everyone. But I'm thinking of a place that is going to compete and might need first base pop. Might need first base pop. Okay. I think the team that could use him the most. I mean, obviously the Mets could use him. But I would say Mariners probably need him the most. But he's more likely to go to the Yankees. You know why? Because I think the Yankees are going for it. Now, the thing is, Pete could go to San Francisco. I just don't. I know. So we know the Mariners are going to buy because they have an opportunity to win the division. Okay, we don't know anything. We never know with Jerry. But they could use him the most because they need Bop. Even though he's not having a great year. They need another bat bad, and he might be the best one available. I actually don't think he's going to go anywhere. But I think the Yankees are the best chance to do a blockbuster type thing where they give a bunch of prospects and then re-sign him. So, but again, I think that if he gets traded, that he could re-sign with the Mets too. So, I want him to be a Met. I don't want him to go anywhere. But I just think that these 2 teams are the most likely. Garrett Crochet. Now, I know we had JB, Jim Bowden, go in depth about can the Dodgers go get Garrett Crochet, Louis Robert, and Kopech? I'm like, and trade 7 prospects. The Dodgers don't need to trade 7 prospects. So Garrett Crochet. I have it down to 2 teams that could really use him. I think he's more likely to do. I think this is the place that makes the most sense, that would be most interesting, and that is the Baltimore Orioles. So I think the Baltimore Orioles need him the most. They need a third guy. With Means and Bradish down, they need him. They need a guy. They also have tons of position player prospects. And I think they could do a one for here. I think they could give him like one of the top guys and then like another prospect for him. I think they could get him. I think they can get him. And I think that would be freaking awesome, because it would be awesome to see how that plays out. He's freaking gross. Now, Louis Robert. Who could use Louis Robert the most? Everybody. But let's see. Let's just assume that the White Sox have a plan here. It's a big if. Louis Robert. I think it's Philly or Seattle. Seattle could also use Louis Robert because he doesn't have to play center field. He'd be a good defensive. He'd be a good right-handed pop, and he'd be good. He'd be a good defensive outfielder. And I think that he would buy in there. I think there's a little bit of that too. He's pretty laid back. Oh, and Brewers. I throw the Brewers in there too. I think Philly's the more likely, just because they're going for. So here's the deal. It's hard to determine who's like going for it, right? Like the Braves have a bunch of team-friendly deals. They have their core. Like they're a little bit more like hesitant. Like how do we want to shake this up? Who do we want to get rid of? Like, do we really want to like get rid of prospects for this just because we can get in the wild card and probably be okay? Like we're still gonna make it. But the Phillies, like, we got our team, like we got our core, we got our guys here. So if we just add one more guy, but do I think the Phillies need to add anything? I don't. I think they can win with the team they have. I do. They're good. That is barring injury and all that kind of stuff. But they're good, man. Seattle just needs freaking offensive help so bad. All right. Tommy Pham. Anywhere. Anyone who needs an outfielder. Tommy Pham could go anywhere. I want to hear what you guys say. Back to the D-backs, back to Arizona. I could see that. I think he's going to go to someone who is on the cusp, who just needs like one more win to sneak in, is going to grab Tommy Pham, and that's him and another guy. So like, yeah, Pham to the Twins, Pham to the Brewers, I don't know about the Brewers now, but Pham to like a team that's right there. Cleveland. Yeah. Those are all great. Maybe Orioles, yeah. Maybe Orioles, but again, like he's not necessarily like Robert's the better for them. But Pham, I think that it won't take a lot to get. I think he won't take a lot to get. The team that's right there, so the entire National League. Exactly. This is why this is so hard. All right, Brent Rooker. Brent Rooker. Yeah, that's the thing with Robert, the health. Brent Rooker. What are the A's day games in Las Vegas, Nevada going to look like at 110 degrees at game time? It's going to suck ass. Whoop. Rooker and Miller. Guys, I don't know why everyone is convinced that Miller is getting traded. I got the Guardians. I think the Guardians will send over a couple like solid pitchers for him. Ooh, the Nats are a solid choice too. Didn't think about them. He could help them a lot. But I think again, I'm thinking about, so you notice these teams, like most of these teams are like either they're gonna win their division, or they're trying to like solidify their division. That's the guys that are gonna go get these guys. The guys who are on the cusp, we're gonna see a lot of like platoon swaps and things. Like a lot of like the Daniel Vogelback pickup type things, like the Mets did. Like getting rid of Bryce Miller, dude, that's playing with fire a little bit. Now I could see them going with who's the other guy that they just sent down to Tacoma? who was in the rotation for a while. Anyone notice the quality of announcing on ESPN Sunday night? Who's doing it, Darren? Maybe Cards? Hancock. I wouldn't be surprised if Hancock was in this one. Or like the Mariners would get rid of Hancock. Do you think the A's trade Mace Miller? I don't think so. I don't think the A's trade Mace Miller. I really don't. I really don't. Just trust me on that. Brian Wu, maybe. Jay's trading Bichette. If you're gonna trade Bo Bichette, you better trade him and Vlad. Just do it. Get everything you can. It's just we're gonna have to see who the big sellers are, or the big buyers are before we see what the big sellers are. And that's the interesting thing, is we don't know if anyone's gonna be a buyer or a seller because everyone's freaking 500. And that's my trade, guys. Okay, let's go over some guys. You guys wanted to know about, did I see Clase in there somewhere? Manuel Clase? Okay, who are we talking about again? I had names here, now I can't find them. Oh, yeah. I think Flaherty's going to get traded too. Again, I don't know if they're going to go for it, though. That's the problem. Like, the Tigers are like, you know, they win 5 games out of nowhere. They just sweep a series, and we're like, now they're back in it. Like, what do you think about the A's announcer, Jenny? I love Jenny, dude. I think Jenny's great. I think she's getting better and better and better. Honestly, though, lately, I think she's hearing the criticism, and I think she's doing a better job of being more animated. It's a very hard job, and it's her first time ever doing it. So I'm going to give her some slack. But Jenny is a freaking pro, and she's good at it, man. She is off the top of the dome quick. It's hard as shit. It's so hard. So. Burger? Oh, dude. Burger's got so much controllability. I don't know how he's hitting. I haven't looked. I think, again, the Mets are so hard. I only wanted to do 5. But Severino, I think, is almost guaranteed to be gone regardless. I think that even if they're in this exact position, if they're a game or 2 back of the wild card, Severino still goes because I think they bring up Scott. So, how do you balance baseball and personal life? Oh, you don't. You try your best, but you don't. Baseball rules, everything. That was a big reason why I retired, frankly, because that balance was out of whack and I couldn't figure out how to fix it. Favorite announcer to hear call a game? Ooh, I love Jason Benetti. I think they love baseball and they're curious about it. If I could listen to Bob Uecker all day, but it just feels like I'm in the movie Major League. So, okay. Why is Ronel Blanco good? Change-ups. Okay, so we're doing a breakdown. Should Boston buy at the deadline? I think Boston's going to do a couple things. The funny thing about Boston's problem is their defense. I don't know how you fix your defense because outside of Jarren Duran, man, and Wong's pretty good behind the plate too. But like overall, they're either like average or below. Bob Costas, it's the Vince Scully. If you want a story, Bob Costas. But I do like Jason Benetti a lot. Honestly, Sims is great, man. I think he does a great job. Do you think Skeens can keep throwing as hard as he does long term? Depends on how long you think. I think that, yeah, he's got a few years of him in. Like Garrett Cole's been throwing that hard the whole time. So yeah, I think it's entirely possible. He'll probably end up evening out at like 98 to 100. Could Jazz get traded? I don't know. Possibly. Let's just put it this way. Every single Marlin on the block, all of them. If anyone's interested and they think they can get anyone for him, they will trade him. Brian Anderson's really good too. And you know who else I really like? Kevin Brown. Shout out to Kevin. Break down Cal Quantrill. Yes, Cal Quantrill. That's the one I want to do. Okay, so now we're going to break down Cal Quantrill because this is so interesting, guys. Calvin Vivian Quantrill. Cal Quan. So, we got a Rockies pitcher with extremely, by all accounts, extremely average stuff. 2 players in MLB have no movement clauses. They have no trade clauses, yeah. Marlins should trade Skip. Oh, he's waiting. Okay, so here's Cal. So here's one thing you're going to notice. There are never going to be any Rockies pitchers that are super high on this list. So you take this with a grain of salt a little bit. Like you're never going to have great crazy ride. You're never going to have crazy swing and miss in Colorado. All right? So just know that. Did the sticky icky get covered already? Yeah, that was earlier in the video if you want to go watch it. What's with you and the Vivian middle name? It's a quote from a movie or from a show. Ted Vivian Mosby. Ted Harriet Mosby. It's not Harriet. I love the word. Vivian rolls. Vivian. Isn't that cool? It's because of the altitude. Yes, that's a real thing. All right. Let's break down what Cal is doing so well. So he's 6'5" with a 3.5. That is really good in Colorado. But one thing you're always going to notice, strikeout rates are always really low and whips are always higher. So 1.3 whip. He is a good candidate for regression, but his command's been pretty good. The splitter is on the edge. He's keeping the sinker on this edge. This is a really good cluster. Fastball command is probably the biggest reason he's been successful. And the curveball, again, remember we looked at Blake Snell last week and he had lots of stuff way down here. This is so close to the zone that this is breaking through the zone and lands just outside. That is a great spot for a curveball. All right? Which is weird. That spins like a slider. Okay. And then cutter, just a wrinkle pitch. I don't think it's a true cutter either. I think it's a slider. So in terms of like his command, he is throwing, his pitches are generally going where he wants them to go. Though the cutter is probably what's getting hurt on. Let's see which one has the highest run value here. Oh, his sinker does. Well, yeah. Surprise, guys. Sinkers don't do jack shit in Colorado. He's just throwing it to throw it 39% of the time. Probably should throw it a little bit less. Ooh, excuse me. Hard hit rate is actually lower than I thought it would be, but no one's missing it. No one's swinging and missing at it, and it's 575 slugging. What's the big thing, though? The splitter, chat. We're living in the world of the splitter. Off-speed pitches. Change-ups. Evidently, splitters work in Colorado. What? Let me check movement. Where's the movement profile here? Oh, my God. It's all bad. Splitter, though. He has an average splitter at 86. So I think it comes down to his sinker's getting hit so well, and he's throwing his splitter right off of it. So if I were a betting man, I would say these two guys are trying to get this, they're getting this, and they're getting out. What's the stuff plus numbers on it? We could do that too. I usually just try to look at this. Run value usually lines up with Stuff Plus pretty well. But Stuff Plus also takes in bigger sample sizes, so it doesn't explain. Hold on, let's check. So if you guys were wondering about where to find Stuff Plus, Quantrill, dude, come on. Stuff Plus is in. Let's see if we can just grab it. Oh, no. Okay, I can't customize that. Awesome. I have an account. I'm not on this browser. Stuff Plus. There it is. So let's see. Stuff Plus on his pitches. In 2024. Where's splitter? Is splitter not on here? Yeah, there's no splitter. Ooh. Is it FS? Oh, it's FS. So 114. FS. Just go SPL, dude. What? Or SP. SI sinker. FS is splitter. Okay. 114. That's pretty good, man. It says his slider's better, though. Well, well, no. Okay. He doesn't throw a slider anymore. He throws a cutter, which is worse. Above average. But 114, that's pretty good. That's a solid splitter. But his location plus, let's check out his location plus. Below average. What's his BABIP? I got to know what his BABIP is. I hate that like half these places don't. Okay, BABIP. Oh, this is projections. Dude, what the hell just happened? These are all projections. Where's BABIP? Anyway, I don't want to look for it anymore. FS is split. Yeah, I don't know why FS is split. The other ones make sense. This one doesn't. It's a splitter sinker combination that's making Cal Quantrill so good this year. And the command on those two pitches. Now, neither one of them move a lot. He's never been a high movement guy. He's need to be a contact guy. He's not going to strike a lot of guys out. He's not. He's just throwing quality pitches when he needs to throw quality pitches. It's called pitching. But he's not going to jump off the page in terms of stuff. That's probably why he's not still with the Guardians. But I think he's overperforming what's happening. Not that he's going to just regress into a terrible pitcher, but he's probably more of a 4 flat type of guy. So that's Cal Quantrill. But it comes down to sinker splitter. He's tunneling those two pitches really well together, and that's happening for a lot of guys. And it's enough of a wrinkle that guys are off of the barrel and they're hitting the ball on the ground, which you have to do in Colorado or it's homer. I imagine they hold him if he's still making league minimum. He's not technically making league minimum, but he is not making a lot of money. So, all right. Break down Ryan Hudson. Who else, guys? Do we want to do a hitter? It's a 280 BABIP. Okay, so actually that's about league average. So he's not really getting super lucky. He has a really good infield defense. Tovar and McMahon are really good on the left side. So he's probably taking advantage of that as well. Riley Green, Brian Bayo, Harrison Bader, Juan or Jaron Duran. Ooh. Is Anthony Santander the hottest? I don't think he's the hottest hitter. Have you heard of Royce Lewis, Pham? Give me someone who's real hot or real not hot right now. Mason Winn. Guys, I think we should do Mason Winn. You guys want to do Mason Winn? We could do Mason Winn. Let's do Mason Winn. Let's do Quan and Winn. I want to do Quan and Winn because they're two different types of players and two very good. All right? So real quick. Lopper Fido. Ooh, I'm going to give him a few more weeks, but I think that's a good idea. I'm really excited about Mason Winn. All right. Real quick, we're going to break down Mason Winn. Hitting 299, 778 OPS. Okay, not a big bopper, but he never was. Shortstop, 22 years old. Dude, that's crazy. Drafted in 2020 as a high school kid. Crazy. He's Randy Wynn's son, right? Updated All-Star ballots are out. We'll check them out. Aaron, if you want, actually, could we let Aaron post a link? Oh, could you give me a link to the updated All-Star ballots? I'd love to check it out. Okay. So this comes down to the 3-outcome conversation we're having. Mason Winn is not a 3-outcome guy. He is a speed guy. He is a dynamic player, and he is good on defense. So now none of this jumps out at me really, except for expected batting average, which is funny. He's actually hitting 299, and his expected batting average is lower. However, he's still 83rd percentile, which is pretty impressive for me. What does he do really well? He doesn't swing and miss. He doesn't really walk, but he is walking okay at a okay rate. But if he brings this up and that, we're cooking. And then obviously he can run like the wind, and he's got an absolute cannon biscuit. But what he's been is clutch. So let's see kind of want to see what he's hitting. Should we true medium? Let's true medium. Mason Winn. What are we doing? Oh, he didn't play in 2019? What the hell? Okay. Oh, overview. Now I want to see what his WOBA is here. Are we still on pitching right now? Here we are. Batting. We're on slug. This will be XWOBA. You guys know what XWOBA is, right? Not a lot of juice. He's hitting it right in the middle. Right in the middle of the plate. I think we have the minors in here, too. We want to get it just MLB. Wait, he's played in 200 games already? Crazy. So, very little power. But his K rate has continued to go down and his swing and miss rate's low. So what he does is he puts the ball in play and he runs. And that is what he's doing really well. And he's hot right now. Now, I haven't seen him turn into a superstar yet. That's pretty clear. Like, peripherally, like you gotta either hit the ball hard, but he does some good stuff well. Like what he does hit, he hits hard. And he doesn't swing and miss a lot. So it sounds like he has a good idea of the zone, and he's a good defensive player. He's a slasher. Exactly. And these are the types of guys. He's not trying to hit homers. He shouldn't try. What he should try to do is be on base as much as humanly possible. He should grind out at bats. He should be trying to lead off. He should be trying to do those type of things and playing incredible defense and being a leader. That's what he should do, and that's how he's going to play in the major leagues for a long time. But he's been really, really good. He's not related to Randy Winn? Really? He even looks a little bit like him. I thought for sure he was Randy Wynn's son. That's crazy. Okay. What was the other one we were talking about? We had we had Mason Winn. Did we get the link, by the way? I don't see it. I can look it up, actually. Let's check out the MLB All-Star Game voting. BuildSubmarines.com, chat. So where are the results? Baseball betting tips from a former player. Not touching that one, Mojal. Not yet, anyway. Though, I am looking at... So, just to share with you, I'm looking at... I want to do, like, picks to click segment every week. But what I want to do is I want to use something that's just, like, fun. I want to do it for... I want to have our bets or whatever, but I want to do it with fun money. Because I'm just not a... Dude, I don't... It's just not something. Maybe we could do it in like a minimal. I don't want to get banned. I got to figure out if it's okay, or whatever the minimum amount of money possibly. And I would like to do it with you guys, so we're just basically doing it together. I think that'd be fun. Hi, Marma. All right, come on. He's really wants you to know. What? Whoop. Say that again. You guys want to know if he dangles? He's a dangler, guys. Mwah. Sorry, I love my cat. Leave me alone. He's the best. Does he dangle? He does. He is tiny, by the way, Brian. You're right. He's just a little guy. Okay, so are the results on Twitter? MLB.com news. Okay, let me just go to MLB.com then. News. It's literally right here. Let's see what we got. Okay, vote now, guys. Go vote. Vote for all the stuff. By the way, everyone should be voting. The other players, lock and chase now. Then, however, judges a slim lead over teammate Juan Soto, fewer than 24,000 votes separating the two Bronx Bombers. Harper, meanwhile, is also holding a narrow advantage over teammate Phillies third baseman Alec Boehm, only 7,000 behind him. Wow, Vlad's up there. I think this feels right. Santander raking. Were we going to go over Santander? Betting is bad and illegal. We will ban you for life. The Mets brought to you by DraftKings. Get 100% on free bets when you sign up now. Go to DraftKings for all your sport betting needs. Would you drop Bailey Ober in fantasy for Scherzer? I don't know how's Ober doing? Let me check. No. I would hold on. Hold on to that. He's also pitching better as of late. He's also improving. I would say Bailey's he's due for a good dude. He's got good command, man. He's gonna be fine. I think hold him. Look at his last 2 games against the A's. Bobby's a great hitter. I think Gunnar might be generational, you know. I think they're both generational, Branch. Also, thank you for the subscription. Brownie Bananas. 2 months in a row. Look at us. Is Heliot Ramos an all-star? Ooh, I'll check him out. That's Brian. We're looking for Heliot, dude. .290, 10 homers. How many games has he played in? That's important. Dude, he's strikes out a lot, though. Yeah, he's their best hitter right now, huh? He might be their guy. Who else would it be? You think from the Giants? Don't matter if you crush the ball. I mean, it matters situationally, but yeah. Logan Webb. Ooh, good point. Ooh, Conforto is having a good year too. Called that. He might be their hitter. He might be the guy. Yeah. So okay. So if they have multiples, I don't know if he makes it in. But he's good, man. So who are the other outfielders? We just saw this. Let's look at it. So let's look at the outfield for the National League. No, he's not going to get in the vote. Didn't Rojas just get sent down? Oh, Phillies are voting for all their guys. Oh, it's the year of the Phillies, huh? How's Marsh's year going? Yeah, no, Ramos is having a better year than him. Yeah, no, I think he should have he might just get in. Profar's raking. Profar's absolutely raking. He's having a better year. But again, he has 270 ABs and Ramos only has 170. So that's the thing. He's 100 less ABs. Yelich is raking. He will make it. Yeah, he's hitting 316. Whoa. He's in. Terang's probably in too. It's hard though. Remuto's hurt, so he's not going to go. Marsh doesn't start the platoon. Yeah, but they're just voting for all their guys. So yeah, I think Helio Ramos has a good chance, especially if they get 2 guys. I'm going to say though, Shohei's probably going to make it. That's my guess. Which feels bad. Marcel will go as a backup, and unfortunately for these guys, they're not going to make it. So. What was the NL shortstop? Mookie, but he's hurt. And Trey just came back. This is pretty open, too. Honestly, Arcias probably should be in that conversation more. But again, this is a little bit. Profar's patellar tendonitis. Well, that's not good either. So a lot of you guys are hurt. Manny Machado missed a bunch of time. Yeah, Mason Wynn's not in here. But again, these are votes. Remember, these are votes. These are just votes. They're just votes. Like remember, there's also managers and there's also players voting in. How's Lindor on the list? He has not hit up until recently at all. And it's votes. And honestly, Mets fans aren't happy with him a little bit, right? Any chance Brian Hudson makes it? Let's check. Let's check if Brian Hudson. Is it Brian Hudson? Holy shit. We got a loogie doing it. Is he closing? How many holds does he have? A .86. I wrote in Dan Ugla 241 times. That's funny. That's funny. Not closing? Is he setting up or is he just like a fireman type? Trevor McGill's closing? Whoa, didn't see that coming. Good for him, man. That's awesome. Other drip. Fireman usually. So that's the problem. It's really hard to make the All-Star team as a non-closing reliever. There's usually one. I call it the Wade Davis spot. And it comes down to this. If the Brewers have Yelich and they have Tarango, he's not going to make it. So they'll be like, your third guy can't be a, and is it stupid? Yes. Is it unfair? 100%. Does it piss me off every single day? Yes. Yes, it does. Yenny or Cano? Yeah, there's usually like one. And you have to do something that was like really noticeable for a while. And it sucks. And I hate it. But it is the way it has to be, or way it is anyway. Ozzy. Raking righties. Is he an all-star? Probably not. No. No, Ozzy's not going to be an all-star team this year, probably. So, yeah, you only get one. Munoz fits that description? No, Munoz is the closer. Munoz is the closer. I know he hasn't closed, but he's unanimous. Like we know he's the closer. He hasn't closed recently because he had a cortisone shot in his back. Mean Shohei's got Ozuna. Isn't that crazy that like Marcell Ozuna is absolutely destroying the ball and he's still getting destroyed by Ohtani. If your pitching, your delivery is on one plane, what does that mean? Okay, so it gets a little gray area when you're talking about delivery. We talked about this a couple weeks ago about deception. And when you're talking about delivery and using the word plane, you're talking about deception. Meaning you're creating some sort of angle with your delivery. So you either stay tall and go down, or you stay tall, or you stay low and you go low, or you start tall. But if you start tall and go down, now you're two planing it. Or if you start tall, straight up and down, and you go low and then you go out, you're going two planes, right? So it's a way to create deception. Now, if a pitch is moving on two planes, that means it's moving horizontally and vertically. And you want two planes, i.e. Jose Barrios' slider, curveball, whatever the hell he's calling it these days. That's a two-plane breaking ball. But then there's guys who throw like straight sweepers like Jason Adam. It's a one-plane sweeper. He wants it to go sideways. He doesn't want depth. That's one plane. And they have different value in different places, if that makes sense. Yeah, how has Lindor improved? I know he's hitting a lot better lately, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, chat, look at this. Like, he's just peripherally getting destroyed. But, like, all of this, he's hitting the ball hard. It's just when. He's hitting the ball hard. He's a very good player. He's just not walking as much as he usually does this year. It's funny. His whiff is fine. I feel like that's slightly up, too. Run value on pitches. But he's not necessarily hitting anything specifically really, really well. He's hitting a couple things pretty good. But it's improving. He's getting way better. So I go off this too because xwOBA is expected. Basically, it's like this is what we expect balls that are hit to produce, and based on how other things that are hit like that have produced. I hope that makes sense. Who would you rather take at this point, Munoz or Hudson? So Hudson's big thing is a sweeper. He throws a lefty sweeper. He's a low guy. He throws a sweeper. That makes him way less effective against righties. So the thing about Hudson, he's probably not going to be a closer because he has a pitch that works really, really well. But if you have to really buckle down and grind out an AB, guys will be able to do it. But yes, Francisco Lindor continues to be an elite player overall. But yes, his bat has not done what he would want it to do. But do not be surprised if he goes, surprise, I hit 29 homers. He's on pace for high 20s again. If his OPS gets up over 800, I would feel much better about where he's at. But improving. What we're looking for is an upward trend here, and he's upward trending. Yeah, I think he's going to be. Now, again, let's not be like, come on, Francisco, hit 360. Like, I'm like, dude, if you could just hit like 280 in the second half and like walk a little bit more and just like, instead of hitting, hit the same amount of homers and just a couple more RBIs and maybe one or two bigger hits, then now we're cooking. Like, we don't need you to be everything. I think Shota's going to maintain where he's at for the rest of this year, yeah, until he gets tired, which he's Japanese, so he probably is going to start getting tired. The command of that fastball is going to go away a little bit, and he's going to get hit around, which we've seen a couple times now. Is there a way to do Hunter Brown since he introduced the sinker on May 11th? Absolutely, dude. I love that stuff. Let's see. Hunter Brown. So Hunter Brown started throwing a sinker. So this is him on the year. What does he have? A 4.72? He's been throwing way better. Let's go. What did you say since May 11th? 28 innings pitch, 18 hits, 5 earned runs, 1.88 ERA. Wow! Look at him. That's pretty good, man. Much better. Added a sinker, huh? Well, let's see. How are they doing on the sinker? He's giving up 9 hits on it, but it's unlocking everything else. That's what's happening. So it's funny. Sinkers are still hit harder than four seams, but if you throw one, it suddenly makes your four seam better. Can you look at Lugo? We did that last week or 2 weeks ago, Metal. You should go check that out. So he was our pitcher, and also my podcast too goes really in depth on that if you want to listen to it. Hey, what up, MSM? How we doing? They're liars. They're liars. Everyone's lying. How you doing? Good to see you. Mets are pretty good against nasty pitchers. It's a pretty good problem to have. Mackenzie Gore, yeah, he's struggling too. All right, what time we got? Oh, it's frick. Chat, it's almost time to go. So I guess what I'll do here is let's say 10 minutes. We're ending the last 10 minutes of the show, and I kind of just want to go full AMA where maybe we don't have to look things up and I can just straight up answer questions. Do you think Alex Burleson is an all-star? Let's check. I want to check him real quick, and then we will pass. So start firing questions. AMA, guys. Last 10 minutes of the show. I want to thank you guys all for being here, chilling, hanging out. Hey, let's go check out the, real quick. Let's go check out the poll. Okay, here's the finals for the poll. Let me turn off my overlay here. What happened? Who wins the AL East? We got 32 votes for the Baltimore Orioles. Wow, dude. Wow. No Yankees fans here, huh? Interessante. I didn't think it was like that. I don't think it was like that, dude. I really thought that's crazy. Me, it's crazy. How do MLB players vote for All-Stars? We are given a ballot, a paper ballot, and we fill it out and we give it back. Pretty easy. When did you pitch? Did you stomp your foot on delivery? No. I was a roller. I'm a long extension guy, and I think you're thinking stomping the foot as in like you stomp and then you post. My post was after I released. So my quad basically functioned like a freaking catapult. And I'm super strong. They're a fluke. Yankees are getting exposed. I mean, they're just, everyone's gonna regress at times, Everyone regresses for times, right? It's a long season. Remember, we talked about this. 162 games sucks. What do you think your max velo left-handed is? 40? I don't even know. I don't think I could get a reading. I'm that bad that way. It's genuinely the worst thing ever. How did you pick players you vote for? Guys we played against who we think is the best. I went and looked at stats. Most guys just I would always just I'd pick one position and just pick a guy from our team. How has Luis Severino changed his tipping in the pitches? I don't know about the tipping. So that's something I kind of want to go look into that. Maybe, B-Man, if you want to be here next week, I can do some research on it and give you like a really good breakdown if you want. Can you do Connor Wong before you go? Yeah, okay. I've seen Connor Wong 5 or 6 times now. I'll really quickly touch on him. Let's see. Let's see what he's doing well. Let's do it with True Media too. I'm really looking forward this week to just like sitting down and having baseball on. Last week was so busy. It was crazy that like I couldn't watch baseball very much. And it was honestly like yesterday was kind of had to freak out and okay, he's hitting everything hard. Oh, no, he's hitting sinkers hard. All right, hold on. Let's see. Connor Wong. That's the wrong thing. I keep doing that. Woba, this is how he's actually hitting things really freaking hard. That's the sinkers. We don't want sinkers. We want everything. Okay. So he handles down and in really well. He's hitting 330. Are you shitting me? Oh, this is in it. No, this is this year. Bruh. Okay, one thing to pay attention to. 386 BABIP. That's batting average of balls put in play. When you hit the ball, how often is it hit? This is really high. The league average is about 320. Low threes, 310 maybe, and 386 is high. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come down. But it does mean that it's happening. Okay. Let's also do Savant real quick. Connor Wong. See, so peripherally he's pretty average, but he's a catcher, so we'll give him some slack. He's not hitting the ball generally that hard. It's 72 bat speed, 5% barrels. It's really low. Average X Velo 87.5. But lately, much better. But what he's doing is he's crushing pitches that he's supposed to crush. The bottom part of this zone, the bottom 2/3 of the zone, he's getting to those pitches, but he's still struggling with stuff up. I just don't think he's swinging at it very much. Let's check it again. So let's see where his miss is. Not missing. He is not missing. So 18%, that's pretty okay. That's fine. But what was the whiff rate? Yeah, 25% whiff. Below average, or like he's average. So it's interesting. I think this is a timing situation. I just think he's hitting timely he's hitting timely homers, and he's a low ball hitter, so he hits sinkers hard. So if I'm pitching to Wong, I'm not worried because he's not handling sliders. He's doing okay on changeups, but not great. He's not hitting them hard. He's hitting them for singles, and he's not hitting fastballs hard. He's not hitting them, but he's not hitting them as hard. Sinkers, so I don't throw a sinker, so I don't have to worry about this. But basically, he hits low balls in the zone. Guys throw sinkers. It runs down into where he likes to hit it. Down and in is his spot. He's like a lefty hitter that's hitting right-handed. Wait, Jeremy LL, Cade. Who's Jeremy LL? Personal question. Have you ever faced crippling anxiety? How did you deal with it? Yeah. I went on the anxiety IL for a month last year. I've had crippling anxiety quite a bit. One big thing is support. So communicating with my wife was big. So she was helpful. Like basically she's like, I need to either let you do your thing or support you, and she got good at that. That was big. But a couple things is being able to come up with strategies for managing it, and then being able to remove yourself from situations when you need to. Just have strategies. So there's a thing about it. Anxiety gets really, really strongly attached to lack of options. Or at least that's been my experience. So when I get like, oh shit, like God, I don't want to deal with this. I don't know what to do. And then the more I perceived my lack of options, the worse it got. And the faster I fell in. So when I would be like, okay, if I could go back and be like, okay, let's go up and go into that dark room and chill and like do breath work. I got good at breath work. That helped physically calming myself down. But getting myself somewhere away from any sort of stimulation was the biggest thing. And I had to find places to do that in the stadium. And once I did, game changer. Huge. Now there's times where you can't do that. And so you gotta communicate beforehand with the people you're gonna be around. So say you're in a public situation, say you're like, I don't know, you're like in an orchestra or something. You have a live event, and you're playing, and then you get an anxiety attack. If you communicate to your conductor, your people around you, I don't know why I use this example. Just if you feel like it's okay to stop and put your instrument down and just be there and be in the moment and have it be okay and everyone's okay with it, your chances of being okay are much better. So those are the two big coping mechanisms. And then I just do daily work, and it comes down to like meditation helps. It's about self-awareness and about emotional awareness. When I feel this way, it usually turns into this thing, and it usually comes from this place. The more of those things that you know, the better you can come up with not solutions. You're not trying to fix it. You're trying to manage it, because a lot of it is very deep set. You know, people with divorced parents, when they were 5 years old, they have all these like things they can't remember, for example, of their parents yelling at each other. They can't remember it. But for some reason, people yelling at each other triggers them crazy, and they don't remember why. Sometimes that stuff's like takes a really long time to work on, especially if you don't know what it is. So my anxiety disappeared as soon as the play started. And that's the thing. That's what's crazy is like people think that nervousness isn't anxiety, and it crosses over. Anxiety is harder to manage than nerves. Nerves, they are cousins and they are associated with each other. But being nervous I think nerves are in a not a sweet spot, are between anxiousness and anticipation and excitement. So there's this color of excitement. Like, I'm still kind of excited. Anxiety, that excitement's gone. Does that make sense? So, Carlos Zambrano used to beat up water coolers when he had anxiety. Yeah, a lot of people handle it in different ways. There were some comments recently from some people that I respected, kind of talking about the IL and saying like, said something like teams don't want to pay the players that are on the IL all the time, and just put yourself in their shoes. Why? Companies have to pay their employees when they get hurt. Like, that's just the way it works. So that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Secondly, said something like, like everyone's going to the IL now, and then immediately said, guys are going to the IL for anxiety now. He said it like that, like it's not a real thing. And I wanted to fucking lose it. I wasn't there, but I would have probably gotten really angry in the moment. First of all, because I've dealt with it. First of all, because it's real. So let me just be very clear about this. Just because you don't have an experience or you have no context for something existing doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And that applies to a lot of shit. So just, when in doubt, just be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to take your word for it, person who's having the experience, as opposed to being like, it's not real, that. Okay? When in doubt, just, and then have a conversation. Because at the end of the day, you're you and they're them. You don't have to just assume everything is true all the time. You don't have to do that. You can be skeptical. You can ask questions. You can be like, really? But like, you don't have to be like, nope. Because there's probably something to it. They could be like close, but not quite there. That's true. That's possible. But at the end of the day, if the goal is just to help, it's like, I want you guys to be okay. And I want you to find whatever the right thing is for you. If that's the goal, then it's cool. But anyway, I've not liked some of the things I've seen, the belittling of the way some of this works, because everyone just goes and just like just watches Kobe Bryant clips. They're like, you studied the best, Mamba mentality. Like, you don't have to white knuckle your way through life. You don't have to just be like all the time. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to white knuckle your way through life. Get it tattooed on your forehead. All right, guys, I love you. That's going to conclude the stream. These are getting longer every single week. I had so much fun today. Today was awesome. All right, who do we got? Den Brew, 4 months. We had another one, long one. 39 months in a row. Guys, I've had an anxiety attack, by the way, where I went to a knee and I could not physically stand up. That's happened to me one time, and it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. Ever. Like, I would go to push and I'd move a little bit, and then my arm would be like, no. Like, it would just be like, no. Not that I wasn't strong enough or whatever. It just like the connection was severed for a minute. It was crazy. So it's real. It sucks. Mayday! Mayday, Mayday, Mayday! Okay. I love you. All right. So last couple things. Remember, before we go on the YouTube side, like and subscribe. Twitch, follow. Guys, you don't need to sub, but I appreciate you subbing. You do need to sub on YouTube. You don't need to sub on Twitch. I know, it's confusing. I'm sorry. I do appreciate you for being here. We have merch being worked on currently at the moment. We got some real fun. I got a place. We're gonna do some Mayday merch, and I got a cool design being made. It's gonna be really like basic stuff, a t-shirt or a koozie or like a little flag. I'm trying to get some like baseball stuff, like a glove bag or like socks. You know, just like a little thing. And if you're interested in it, you think it's cool, I'll share all that with you. But I thought it was cool. I had an idea for a design, so I'm like, might as well make it. Do you ship merch to Canada? We do. It will go. It will go to Canada. So merch is coming. Brand new episode of the podcast will come out in the next couple days. And then also that technical channel. Just pay attention to Twitter. Pay attention to the Discord for all like the technical pitching stuff, because a lot of stuff we do here, I'm going to take it, like put it into much less like joking way and more like you're going to school way, and then make that available to you. And then as we go, as I come up with things, as I make blog posts and stuff and like talk about different types of ways to go about learning about pitching and different resources, I also want to point you in directions for other people that are doing great stuff too. So like I want to do a deep dive into like, I want to go down to Driveline and get like do like a little bit of a tour and stuff and like hype them up because they do such good work. You know, Tread, all these guys, Jaeger, these like programs, there's so many people doing great things. It's hard to find. It's sometimes hard to figure out what's good and what's not. I want to add that in there a little bit too. And I just think that world, like if I can support that world at all and help young guys get better at playing the game, then that was the point of playing. So I love it. All right. And if you ever want to send anything, will I sign the merch? Maybe I will, Mojal. Maybe I will. Maybe some of them will be signed. That's a good idea. I don't know if any were good. All right, Raid. All right, we're going. All right, bye. See you guys. Love you. Have a great day, and I'll see you on Monday and TikTok and Twitter and stuff. All right, so bye.